when he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339.
Good headphones. They're in my car right now, so at some point I'll go grab them and switch these out because these are like Princess Leia headphones, like the big, looks like I have big pigtails or whatever that's called. I don't know what that's called. Cinnabons. And then I'm going to donate these headphones to the station so that, because like
hey, look, I don't like these. You have them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, it's one of those like if
there were some over there.
Yeah,
but
somebody. Yeah, but they're like the rubber's peeling off of them, and but I'll donate these.
In one ear, it's Spanish.
Right. And these are game used headphones, so they're actually worth a lot of money.
One of one, you should sign it.
I should. You know what? That's actually a great idea. If we have like a silver Sharpie, I'll sign the outside. And that way, if somebody forgets their headphones or we have a guest or something, we don't have
Carmichael Dave.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't like the idea of you. Again, it's just me. I wouldn't say I'm a germaphobe, but I'm germaphobe adjacent.
Yeah.
And germaphobe adjacent Ross. Mm-hmm. And I don't like using headphones that other people use.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I remember years and years ago. I mean, this it probably was. I think it was the Kings and Spurs playoff series. So what's that? 06?
Kevin Martin series?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Did some shows down in San Antonio. And one of the things, we were in like, hey, we're putting you in like this junk room. And I go in there, I'm like, this is a throwaway studio? Like, my gosh.
Junk room.
But every single place that had a headphone had it. Or had a jack for a headset, had headphones in it.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, well, people bounce from room to room. I go, why wouldn't we just do that?
Yeah.
But then I think there's a thing with like, yeah, you're using other people's stuff. But if it's all there every day, then, but I get that thought.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't, there's certain things.
People are always looking for headphones.
They are. And obviously you don't want to use anyone else's toothbrush. Let's just start right there. Like, that's number one. My brother,
in a pinch? No, I don't know.
No, but like in the past, we all went camping once and he forgot his toothbrush and he used his wife's toothbrush. And he's like, it's my wife. And I'm like, yeah, it's your wife's food and tooth stuff. That is disgusting. Same thing. My brother does not care. Like, my brother will, like, when his kids were little and they'd all eat cereal at the table, right? And then his kids would leave the milk in their bowl and he'd just drink everyone's milk.
Wow.
That's disgusting to me because you're spooning it into your mouth and then there's some saliva left over on the spoon and then you put it back in the bowl and now you're drinking, even if it's your own kid.
So if Melissa drank from this water bottle, then she want to drink? How's that different?
It probably isn't.
But in your mind it is.
But in my mind it is. Okay. I admit that. And then when we were living in Minnesota, again, a lot of this revolves around my brother. We one time, I don't know why he didn't have his, but one time we had to share one bathroom. And I remember going in there and he was shaving and he was using he goes, hey, bro, sorry, I had to use your razor real quick. That I was like, that's your razor now, dude. Like, nope, because I don't want your skin particles on my skin particles. And I feel like headphones to a lesser extent, like ears breathe. They breathe in and out. Like there's ear breath that goes on. Like things fly in and out of your ears.
I thought I could hear the ocean, but it's my breath.
That is exactly. Yeah. That's the wind tunnel we have. and I don't want other ear breath touching my ear. I don't know. And same for other people too. Like I don't want to do it. So that's where we're at. I
use Scope for my ear breath.
It's you ever? I know I've asked you this before. You ever irrigate your ears?
I have not.
Yeah, you should try it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I have waxy buildup.
I feel like if I did that right now, I could hear the Atlantic Ocean.
It is the weirdest feeling, dude. It is the weirdest feeling. But anyway, yeah, had an interesting thing go on last night because my father is having, I guess, minor back surgery Friday, and you know,
call it minor.
Right. Well, that's what he says, and so he called me last week when I was overseas and said, hey, I'm having this happen. Can you just want to make sure, you're on call to be able to help out? Because my dad's amazing. He's 81 years old. He takes care of my mom full time. Like he has the mind of a 50-year-old and, does all this stuff. I don't know what we'd do without my dad. And so if my dad's out of commission, like that means it's my dad, my mom, the whole thing. Like it's a big deal. Keep in mind, I live like a mile and a half from my parents. So, okay, cool, Dad. Yeah, no problem. All right, this, that. Yep, we're all set. We're ready to go. Cool. So then I'm talking to him last night. I'm like, all right, I just want to get everything set for this weekend. I just want to reiterate. And he goes, yeah, honestly, don't worry about it. Your sister's coming up. My sister's in LA. I go, Lindsay's coming up. Why? Well, she wanted to come up and, take care of it. So, you're off the hook to an extent, but, we could use make a big thing of soup for your mom or something. Oh, okay. So I called my sister and she's like, yeah, I'm coming up. I'm like, oh, okay. What's the rest of the story? She goes, well, it's just, someone's going to have to stay. He's understating the problem. Like someone's going to have to stay with him and take care of mom and do all this stuff. And I haven't seen, she had her my brother-in-law, his family's in Florida, and she hasn't been out there in 8 years. So they're going out there. So he's going out there, and she canceled to stay here and take care of my parents. To which I said, why? I'm here. Like my sister generally does a lot of this stuff, but I said, I'm here. I got it. Like, it's cool. I don't know. She's very like, no, I want to be up there. She's very nursey, And so we're arguing, not bad arguing, but just, I'm like, go. No. So she's going to come up Thursday. I think secretly she also wants to see my daughter and hang out.
Are you thinking she's thinking you can't do it?
I know that not in like a mean way, in a way where my sister is obsessed with my mother's care to a point that's just amazing. Not that I'm like, hey, mom, whatever. But my sister is really, really good at this stuff and has really been involved over the years. And she's just afraid it would be too much for me. I'm like, look, I got Melissa. I got grown kids. Like,
right.
We'll handle it. Like, I'm not going to kill mom and dad, I promise. But she's very, very involved and protective over all that. So we compromise. She's going to come up Thursday because she already bought the ticket for Eric to fly out. And then I'm going to get her a ticket on Monday to meet him out there after she's calmed down over the weekend and everything's cool. But now I'm going to try to make some snackies because they're going to be watching Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And, my sister loves the Super Bowl. She doesn't care about the sport. She and my daughter want to watch the halftime show.
Sports games.
Sports ball.
Yeah.
As she says. I asked her yesterday, I said, what do you think about Luka Doncic? And because, she's in LA.
What was the response you got?
The response was she honestly thought Luka Doncic was a chef.
Oh.
A celebrity chef.
Well, he does cook.
He does.
Yeah.
And so she goes, is that a celebrity chef? I go, yeah. I just got to roll with it now. Yeah, he's going to be on Chopped this season. He's down in LA. And so ended up talking for 2 minutes about that. Anyway, that's what's going on. Made a big pot of potato cheese soup last night.
Okay.
Yeah. Chris is gone for the next 3 days.
We got Kyle.
We got Kyle in here.
Hello.
Kyle led better. Not led worse.
No, Ledbetter's his name.
Lead medium.
Led
Mid.
medium. We got
You going tonight?
I actually was invited to go tonight by some friends. The same friends when what was it? The where I sat where for the Golden State for the playoff that
Draymond
right behind
spot.
right behind
Draymond was yelling at you.
really good seats right behind the visitors bench. Problem is that my wife has a game she's coaching tonight. My son has a game he's playing tonight. My daughter is conducting the band that's playing at both games.
So you're going.
So I'm like, screw you guys. I like physically can't go because, and I just.
So which game do you go to?
Well, they're all at the same. My wife's game is before my son's game at the same school.
Wow.
So that's convenient because I can just go there, watch my wife coach while I'm watching my daughter conduct the band and play in the band, and then watch my son play.
It's a heck of a night.
It is a heck of a night that I wish wasn't happening tonight for Zach LaVine's debut versus the Kings. And I've always thought, I miss my calling because I should have probably been an ad executive. And it's not like there's two things I would always say. The commercials where they have like the mattress is so soft and it shows like the wife sleeping.
Yeah.
And the husband's like, they set the glass of wine on there and it doesn't move, right?
On the other side.
Which is a fine demonstration. I always felt, especially if guys are the ones purchasing the mattress, there's actually a really better way to demonstrate why you should get that mattress and why it's important that the person next to you is sleeping no matter what's going on the other side. You may not be able to run those commercials on family television, but I think there's a better way to get the message across.
Late night cable.
It would be really attractive to husbands and boyfriends everywhere to know that no matter what's going on your side, it's not going to bother the person on the other side. That's valuable knowledge. Secondly, whenever you see like contraception commercials, Trojan or whatever, they're like, hey, it does this thing and it's, and all the terms I'm not going to say out loud because they're not great out loud words. I honestly think if you want to run something based on contraception, you should like have a little home video of like what's going on tonight. Because
your schedule,
my schedule, because that is the best ad for anyone out there that is thinking about kids. Look, I wouldn't do it different. My kids are my whole world, obviously, and I joke about it. But at the same time, it's times like this where I go, maybe.
So what's the ad? It's like a thought bubble over here, picturing you courtside, basically at a Kings game.
Yeah, basically courtside at a Kings game with a ton more money in the bank. The ability, for example, February, you and I are both taking different times off, right? Well, I was informed 2 days. I haven't even told you this off the area. I was informed 2 days ago that for the first time in our normal February jaunt, no, because it's playoffs. So staycation for the most part. And also, okay, she's not awake yet. In the yearbook, how
have a rad summer.
You have KITBFF. You know how they have senior ads that parents can take out and you put a baby picture in and you say whatever your message is and all that. We have talked about this from like since the kids were born about like what embarrassing thing we put in there to prank our kids, right? And do all this stuff.
In a yearbook that's going to live forever. Forever. It's just rare parent W going on here. Like good win. I find out yesterday that they missed the deadline. They or you?
No. My daughter brought home the thing, gave it to the sheet, gave it to my wife, and then, oops, we missed the deadline. In part because all this, they're gone till 9:00 every night. Yeah. It's all, so that was a thing because that's one of those really sentimental things I wanted to be a part of. And every time something like that happens, I go, this is what happened. This is why nothing, because we are, and I'm the guy who's just bitching and moaning. And Contraception commercials. Like, you could have a lot more money, a ton more free time, do whatever you want, not have to worry about covering anything. You don't have to miss ball games. You don't have to give this stuff up. Trojan man. Right, exactly. And that's the sign off. Yeah. Do you really want kids? Here's what you're in for. Really, 1 minute? I feel like we're 2 minutes over.
You're 1 minute from being 3 minutes late.
I was going to say, what are you saying 1 minute for? Kyle just said in my ear 1 minute.
Kyle was into the commercial.
I've learned over the years that you just tell Dave 1 minute and go. You
should have told me 1 minute 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. I've learned over the years. Just tell Dave 1 minute and he'll decide if he wants to do 1 minute or not.
That's Kyle's first day back with us.
Oh my goodness.
It's been a while. I missed you guys.
We missed you too. Good morning. Welcome in. We're happy to have you for the next 3 days. We're happy to have all of you with us. We will talk about Zach LaVine at length today. We'll kind of break a lot of things down. We'll preview tonight's matchup, the new look Kings. We'll talk about where we're at on the trade deadline. I've got some reports to give there that I managed to not say on Twitter and be a good show host that we'll give you. And Katie Christensen will join us at 9 a.m. And then at 9:30, as soon as it starts, we will carry Monty McNair's press conference live. We'll also have an update on Monty McNair joining us on the program as well. So we got a lot to get to, Jason.
Let's do it.
Let's sit back and relax. It's Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Kyle Ledbetter in for Christopher Laud. We're back right after this.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You know, I'm a huge fan of their SUVs and sedans, but they also have a huge Vans fleet center. Listen up, business owners. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of tax deductions. They have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric e-Sprinter alongside their very reliable diesel options. And even if you aren't a business owner, let's say you just want one for personal reasons. Maybe you want to go out on the town with the fellas or with the ladies, or maybe you want to take the kids on a road trip. Well, their vans are fully customizable. So check out Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now. You can choose from their dependable diesel models or even go all electric with the new e-Sprinter. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now and check out their fleet center. Or, of course, you can go online at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com.
Let's do it.
Leading off, the three top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number one.
Kings fan, what's up, man? This is Zach LaVine. Touchdown here at Sacktown. Ready to go, ready to work. Appreciate y'all. Let's get this thing moving.
Second Zach.
I was thinking, how great would it be if he was listening?
Yeah.
He's like, Zach and Zach's here. Zach LaVine. Saved every one of us. That is the voice of your newest Sacramento King, Zach LaVine.
Hey, it rhymes.
Yes.
Zach LaVine, the Sacramento King.
That's right.
No less than 60 in his debut tonight. I have high hopes.
Honestly, a disappointment if that happens.
Right.
Why doesn't Dave take the headphones he doesn't like and pair them with something else he doesn't like and trade them to someone else for something really valuable? Isn't that what the trade deadline's all about? That's a good tweet.
Yeah, you've got time, though.
Yeah.
Deadline's tomorrow.
Deadline's tomorrow. But you know what? The debut is tonight.
Yeah. Did you have a better trade 2 days ago?
Too soon.
Sorry, I'll see myself out.
Try to move this mark.
Oh.
We're having some sort of input issue with this monitor, which this is a new thing.
Yeah, it's fragile.
Yeah. Oh, got it. I got it. And Jason is apparent. I know, but like,
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
The solution to any tech issue is to have more men standing around the screen and just putting hands on hips.
That's true.
How many?
You got it. I think now we're good. Whatever you've done, you've already moved it and you adjusted the thingy.
I adjusted the thingy.
Yeah.
The flux capacitor and all that fun stuff.
On the cartridge.
That's a great reference. Mm-hmm. Kings Magic tonight, and I think it's going to be a little magic there tonight, one way or the other. I think the levels are going to be fantastic. They're
on a nice home winning streak. The Magic are on a nice bad losing streak.
Yes, everything's coming together. Now, historically, the Kings tend to be a little off after a road trip, but I have a feeling, look, as much as fans are excited, so are the players.
Mm-hmm.
They have an opportunity to test out a new toy and take it out for a spin. And, Zach LaVine he's going to be excited. He's going to want to do well. No one's going to be not focused.
Right.
Let's put it that way tonight. And when you look at, we'll get into this more a little bit later, but when you look at everything, Kings right now, just a game and a half behind the Timberwolves for the 7, 2.5 behind the Clippers for the 6, 3-way tie for the 8, 9, actually 4-way tie, really, for the 8, 9, and 10. Kings, Suns, Warriors, Mavericks, and then you have the Spurs 3 games back, just looming. Is that also debuting tonight in that De'Aaron 5? They're playing tonight? I feel like they're playing tonight.
Fox is debuting. Herder's debuting.
Look at all that. Yeah, you got that's an ESPN game, by the way. Spurs at Hawks, the debut of De'Aaron Fox at the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
Fox at the Hawks, so we'll get to that in a second. Herder debuts versus the wonder if Chicago's doing, like, they lost Zach LaVine, but are they doing a bunch of hype stuff for Kevin Herder?
I hope so.
And I wonder if he'll start.
Trey Jones has a lot of promise for,
Yeah.
hype.
Hey, why not? And then Magic and Kings, the Magic Kings at 7 o'clock. And we talked about, I said I thought the Kings would be favored by 2.5, 3.5. Favored by, what do you think, Jason Ross?
5.5.
5.5. Kyle Ledbetter?
3.5.
3.5. Circle gets the square. We have a correct answer.
Hey.
5.5.
Nice.
Is the line for the Magic at Kings tonight. 7 o'clock tip-off right here on Sacktown Sports. Yes. Jason Ross, Gary Gerald on the call.
I'm going to go tonight. Yeah.
Are you going to go?
Yep, I'll be there.
Okay,
that's
good.
the plan.
All right. Cut number 2, please.
Cut number 2.
Hi, I'm De'Aaron Fox, and I'm fast. I'm fast in any shoe. I'm even fast in cowboy boots.
What was that whip at the end?
Spur.
Yeah. Well, De'Aaron Fox makes his debut. And I am all here. I think we're close to getting a sponsor, like Boot Barn or something. For every time the Spurs play, we'll do a De'Aaron Fox recap for the listeners, because I think they want that.
Oh, sure.
I think they're going to want to keep track of.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we traded him. He's not with us anymore. That's the new, we drafted Marvin.
Right. And then watch what Luka does. Yeah.
And then in the middle of that is we got Sabonis.
Yeah.
Now it's a Fox thing.
But that second jump and that dunk at the California Classic.
Talking about Luka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the story about Fox too, where he's not going to make his home debut for like a month?
Yeah, the rodeo road trip.
Yeah, they're on the road trip, and then there's also, they play like 2 games back in San Antonio, but not at they'll be at home, but not at the regular arena.
Yeah.
There's something going on. I can't remember what it is.
Something happened.
But it's like a 6-game road trip, all-star break, and then 2 games at home, but they're not at
you are correct. On the 20th and the 21st, they play a back-to-back, I believe, at the Alamo Dome.
Okay. And then
they go out on another 4-game road trip.
It's like March 2nd.
March 2nd, Oklahoma City.
Isn't that crazy? So it's like a month from when he was traded.
Yeah, and they get 2 ESPN games, a TNT game, another ESPN game before they play Oklahoma City, which is an ESPN game.
What day of the week is the 7th, March 7th?
March 7th. That is a Friday.
That game should be added.
I could
De'Aaron Fox's return. Mm-hmm. I mean, if both teams are probably, I would assume both are going to be fighting around in that top 10.
Correction, they're playing in Austin, Texas, apparently, for the 2 games that should be home games.
I got a silly question. I know this is a really dumb question. I don't want to ask it out loud. Is there national TV on Fridays?
ESPN usually.
Does ESPN do Friday? Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't know that. I was looking, and all these are either Sundays or Wednesdays. TNT is Tuesdays and Thursdays. I didn't know they had Friday. I didn't know they had Friday.
Yeah.
I guess I probably did. Yeah. All right, cut number 3, please.
Cut number 3.
It's about people. It's a people business at the end of the day, and we brought in great coaches that have great relationships around the country, and players want to be a part of that.
Hey,
Stingers up.
Stingers up, Jason, and you're wearing the sweatshirt. That's a nice hoodie, too. That is a really nice
I made this in wood shop.
Yeah, well, that's well done. The Sac State Hornets, those Stingers are just incredibly up.
Yeah, it's the new coach, Coach Marion. There's National Signing Day today, and that goes on every year. But this is weird. The Hornets, like on some reports, are a top 25 to top 30 recruiting nationally. Like that's counting Penn State, Florida State, Oregon. Some of those schools are obviously high, but like they're doing some amazing things. They got to sign them all, but that's today.
So like. It'll be interesting as to what the expectation is come August. Yeah. When you start seeing the polls come out and all that. Right. And what a difficult job to try to rank what they're going to do. It's bad. It's tough enough in like professional sports.
Right.
You're talking about like high school kids and how's that going to transfer into college?
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Is this in your tenure, at least on paper, the greatest recruiting class Sac State's ever had?
On paper, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Now, again, what will those play? It's like anything. They could come out and say they have the number one class.
Right.
Nationally, even at any level, but they still got to play. What does it turn out to be? So, but yeah, they've got certain level recruits that they've never, ever had, like 4 or 5 star. They had a 5-star at least at one point committed. There's only a few of those every year.
It'd be great if they just ran the league.
Well, and they also won, 4 games last year? So, I mean, this has to be a big turnaround.
Great expectations come great responsibility, though, and a lot of pressure. A lot of. I mean, and I know they want it.
Yep.
A lot of pressure as they're trying to make some moves. We'll take a break. A very oddly specific time for this break, which I find.
How long?
4:47.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how about that? I like the 7 seconds at the end. That's good. Jim Les is going to join us today, too. Don't forget, 644, UC Davis head basketball coach. We'll take a break. When we come back, probable starters and so much more. Zach LaVine makes his debut tonight. And how's Orlando been looking lately? We'll preview that and the game coming up right after this.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Team night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center, and after a chilly morning this morning, temperatures in the 30s will be warming into the mid to upper 50s this afternoon under sunny skies with winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Just like in basketball, you need the right team to win, and that's why I recommend Folsom Lake Kia. They got low payments that change the game, and you can always buy with 0 down with approved credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia and tell them DC sent you.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business.
Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote.
Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs.
No problem.
I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens.
Totally.
I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing.
I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Please, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be
reeling in the refund.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Fall head over boots in love with music this Valentine's Day. Get ready for Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, returning May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, and more. Enjoy food trucks, mechanical bulls, and line dancing. Tickets start at just $52. Visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club. Don't just say, I love you. Show it with music. Buy tickets now.
The good news, you finally lost the excess weight and found the body you knew was hiding underneath it all along. The better news, InShape Fitness is here to help you maintain your new look and, dare we say it, enjoy the process. InShape has everything you need to build muscle and help keep the weight off. From fitness classes and personal trainers to swimming pools and saunas. Plus, plenty of full-length mirrors to admire your new self along the way. We are InShape, you are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends over at Jiffy Lube, and they want to show some customer love this month with their February oil change deals you can find online today. Visit jiffylube.com and find a service center near you to see these sweetheart deals, get it, during the month of February. Here's what you do. Drive into savings at jiffylube.com today and let yourself save in the month of February. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Time is on slipping into the future.
One of our staunch loyal listeners, our guy Campeo, is asking on the chat. I thought this was very much public knowledge, especially for those longtime listeners, but you never know. Saying, Dave, who gave you the nickname Carmichael Dave? I said, funny you asked that, because it's the guy sitting across from me, along with our good friend Steve. No, not Kyle.
Oh,
Kyle is goo gagaing.
I was probably not even born.
You shut up.
He wasn't.
You shut up too.
No, you know, Kyle was. Here's the fact: Kyle was born on my wedding day.
That's the craziest coincidence I've ever heard.
That's insane.
Because last year Jason was like, "Oh, hey, my wedding anniversary is coming up." I was like, "What day?" And he said, "The day." I'm like, "Wow, I'm exactly that many years old." And we figured out it was to the day.
You know, those
Makes
who
Kyle feel old.
Those who are below 40 are just starting to experience this. Those above are going to know what I'm talking about. Like, you get hit with certain things out of nowhere where you're like, oh, God, I'm old. And I saw one yesterday. The Thompson twins played on Howard Stern. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Have you seen that?
Wait.
Or not? Wait.
That's not Thompson twins.
What am I
gosh,
thinking?
I just saw them and I just saw them. Tears for Fears.
Or the Thompson twins. What an idiot. Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
So, like, I went back and my favorite Tears for Fears song is Sowing the Seeds of Love.
Okay.
I love that song.
Great song.
And then so I went and played that video for myself, and then I played the Howard Stern video, and I was like, I mean, first off, they sounded amazing.
Yeah.
They sound exactly like they did before.
But I mean, that is 40.
Yeah,
40 years ago.
They've aged.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, won't take up the segment, but just so you guys know, it's actually one of my favorite things about this whole working environment is that when I was not actually younger than Kyle is now and calling in on the shows, and was Dave and Carmichael, and then just like Fair Oaks Bob or Elk Grove Jim, you guys switched to Carmichael Dave, and I kept calling. And my first studio was Kings Denver post game when they made the play. You know this story. You've heard it 1,000 times. And then, a couple years later, we're working together.
Yep.
We're working together doing mornings just a couple years later.
Yeah. Carmaker Dave.
Carmaker Dave is Mark Kotze. So, yes, basically anytime, and I say this a lot, anytime anyone goes, God, I hate that Carmichael Dave guy, blame Jason and Steve. It's honestly 100%. Well, I'd say 90% your fault. Koza had a little something to do with it. Grant had a little something to do with it. Mainly you guys. So
you're welcome.
It is kind of cool though that all these years later, and here we are. I would not have imagined that. Jim Les coming up at 6:44. Zach LaVine makes his debut tonight. Jason, after all the hullabaloo and malarkey of the trade and dealing with that, I am fully now in the all right. We'll still have post-mortem, and
sure.
The proof's going to be in the pudding on both sides, and it's not the last time we're going to talk about it, but I am fully on now, like, let's go. I want the within the first 5 minutes, I want a Monk to LaVine, earth-shattering alley-oop, and the crowd just to go absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for people to say, like, after an emotional trade like that, I root for the guy in the the name on the front of the jersey. It's like, yeah, but De'Aaron Fox was a massive part of this team for so long.
Yes.
So it's going to take some time. But Zach LaVine's a king. Now he's a king. He is one of ours, right? So, yeah, you go all in on that. And they still have some things that they're trying to do this year. And he's going to be a part of that if they get there.
100%. This is somebody that this franchise has coveted for a long time.
Multiple GMs.
Vlade signed him to a 4-year, $78 million offer, which he ended up
in the Bulls match.
The Bulls
like 4
matched
minutes.
Yeah.
They
okay. Matched right away. Which honestly, I think this is a fair question. Questions I'd love to ask and get answered is when you wonder, not that. Look, we're excited about it. I'm not trying to take anything away from it, but the fact that Vlade went after him, the fact that Monty went after him, that's two different GMs. It makes me wonder if Zach LaVine is Vivek's guy too.
That's fair.
I think that's a fair question because you've got multiple GMs. Oh, it could be a coincidence.
Right.
It's not like Zach LaVine's not a good player.
Yeah.
Exactly. But when you look at what he brings, nobody's as quick as De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
But he is absolutely and arguably, I can't believe I'm saying this, more athletic than De'Aaron Fox.
A different kind, right?
It's a completely different kind of athletic. He's taller. He can jump out of the gym. Obviously, if you want to get excited about Zach LaVine, just go on YouTube and look up the Zach LaVine Aaron Gordon dunk contest, which I think is the greatest match. I think Vince Carter had the best performance of all time. That's the best matchup.
Pretty incredible.
Of all time. And really, the funny thing is, nobody was expecting that.
Right.
And then
Twice.
Yeah. Exactly. The guy it can jump out of the gym, is incredibly athletic, and he's one of those guys where anytime Zach LaVine gets a breakaway, it's going to be a chill moment for the entire crowd, everyone, even on the road. If Zach LaVine gets a breakaway, everybody's just waiting to see what he's going to pull off. And a dunk is 2 points.
Yeah.
Same as a layup, same as a bunny, same as a mid-range. But let's be honest. Insane, awesome dunks. To me, it's more than 2 points. It's actually tangible. It can stop a run. It can change momentum. It can wake up a crowd.
Yeah.
There's so many things game-changing that can do. And on top of that, he instantly becomes, along with Domantas Sabonis, the best three-point shooters on the team. The difference is Zach's doing it in over 7 attempts. He's a volume guy as well. So now, knock on wood, unless he gets whatever plague the rest of the team has had, the Kings' three-point shooting has just drastically improved.
Yeah, which is a weapon I think this year has hurt them too many times, where they lose that stat line every night, and you're going, man, they did everything else right, but they got outshot by 8 threes. How do you make up those 24 points? So you just hope that'll be one of the areas he'll be tremendous at.
We'll pause. We'll take a quick break. Much more on this, but we want to check in with Jim Les, UC Davis. This is your home of UC Davis football and basketball. We'll update on that as we do every week, and also ask Jim. Again, we always try to do UC Davis stuff, but one thing that Jim is really great at, being a former NBA player, being a former Sacramento King, is to be able to talk about the inside the locker room stuff. So we'll ask him about a lot of this from a player perspective and more. Always fun to talk to Coach Les. And then coming up at 7 a.m., Kings aren't done yet, and I'll let you know what I've been hearing around the league and here locally when it comes to what the Kings are up to, including a name everybody's very familiar with, and the fact that they're very much in on this player as well. We'll get to that at 7. Jim Les next.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Team night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
How about you try something new this year? A resolution to enjoy what you drive. And the only way to guarantee that is at Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. And it's not just because they're centrally located right across from Hagan Oaks Golf Course or their huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. It's because their general manager, Chuck Dean, and his team, they really take the time to get to know you and your goals. To them, it's not just about a car sale. It's about building generational relationships with someone you can trust. That's why people come from all over, Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, it's where a handshake still means something.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Nice enough to join us every Wednesday. Former Sacramento King. I always say that because he's always
Always.
Once a king, always a king. And staying local, the coach of the UC Davis Aggies basketball team, which you can hear right here on Sacktown Sports, Coach Jim Les. Jim, it's Dave, it's Jason. Good morning.
Dave, Jason, happy Wednesday. How we doing?
Good. How about yourself, Coach?
I've been a little bit better. We had a little tough road trip and another road trip coming up. We're trying to get healthy and get things and right the ship. How about you guys? How are we feeling about this trade?
A lot of emotions, Coach, obviously about that, right? De'Aaron, a long time. I mean, a great Sacramento King. And, maybe we could tap into your playing days on that too. Like, it happens. You got to be a pro, but how shocking is that to a locker room when a central figure to your team gets dealt around the deadline?
Yeah, it's tough. It has a lot of reverberations, and there's friendships, there's relationships, there's and I'm not exactly sure how it all went down, but sometimes there's hard feelings, and it takes a mental toll. I would just say that, and on everybody. And I know sometimes as a fan, you would like your team just block that out, and you guys just need to play, and you need to be pros. But that's easier said than done, and there's also a personal side to all of this too that takes a dramatic toll and effect. So I do say, and I think I might have said this last week, there isn't a better guy in terms of Doug Christie being at the helm during this, as a player who's been through it, who's been traded, who's been on a team that can, help navigate this, because it becomes so much less about X's and O's and so much more about the relationships and the personalities and the connections and the communication are huge during this time. And I'm sure he's working that in overtime.
Coach, if memory serves me correct, and by memory, I mean, I'm looking it up online, I'm not entirely sure, but did you get traded from Utah to the Clippers in 89-90?
I did not. I was never traded.
Okay.
I was always released and picked up.
Because I saw that's the one time where you played for that popped out that you played for two teams in the same year, and so even if you didn't go through the midseason trade experience, and I know that you played a while ago, but it's not like you played in the 50s. It's still relatively recent where there were agents and phones, and yes, the internet wasn't insane like it is now. We talked about this yesterday, and I'm glad you touched on it. We were just talking about the human side, that yes, basketball players are millionaires, and they have a lot of things that Joe and Jill citizen don't have at their disposal, but also they have families, they have houses, they have kids in school, they have all this stuff. So to your point about everyone being on edge, it's not just this guy wants out or this guy's going to go. It's also almost, I can't imagine being at a job and knowing that in the next 2-3 days, I might be having to up my 17 and 16-year-old children and my wife and go to Boston with no say in it whatsoever. Even if I am a millionaire, you're still pulling kids out of school and doing a bunch of crap. It's got to be stressful.
No, it is. And especially, if you have your kids start getting older, so they're starting to hear it. They start to feel it at school. The closest thing I ever, personally went through was when I did come to the Kings, and Leon Wood was the guy I replaced and who was let go. And Leon was well-liked on that team. And there were a lot of players that were not happy about him being released. And so that was another dynamic of just as the new player coming in and, finding your way and being able to kind of create your own niche and your own relationships. And so it was, I was doing a little tap dance. I would just say that. I was just trying to do my job and come in and try and make the team. But I was also trying to ingrain myself with a team that was disappointed that they had lost one of their close friends and one of their guys that they really liked.
Coach, how difficult will it be? Let's take this Kings example. So Fox, a huge piece to what they do. Obviously, he moves on, goes to San Antonio. Zach LaVine is now going to be a very important piece for what this team does. They've all played in the NBA. They've all played basketball forever, but incorporating him in a season where, I mean, you know it, there's not a lot of practice time. It's basically, hey, Zach, hey, you're starting, go play. Like, how difficult is that transition for the current Kings and for LaVine?
You know, it's not quite as difficult as you might think, especially with veteran guys. The IQ of the NBA player is so high, and what these guys can absorb in a short period of time, and they'll be scouring over some film, and he'll be getting some extra time doing some, skeleton work after practice and some of the key sets and the key calls. But you'd be amazed on how quickly. I was always amazed when guys came to a team and how quickly they picked up what we were doing and can assimilate themselves. Now, it's more getting to know each player and what he likes and where he likes the ball, and where his comfort zones are. And those are things that, quite frankly, the timetable is sped up when there's great communication. So Doug's sitting down with him and talking to him about, hey, yes, I've watched the film with the Bulls, but I noticed this, or where do you want the ball, or where are you most comfortable, and what are some areas that we can help you get going and get into a rhythm. So those are all the conversations that are happening behind the scenes. But I'm always amazed. Yes, extremely talented and physically gifted, but the IQ of these guys, especially veteran guys who have been in the league for a while, man, they pick this stuff up really, really fast.
We were talking yesterday, Coach, about the difference between, like, in baseball, for example, where it's largely an individual game. It's a hitter hitting, it's a fielder fielding. You don't need to worry about your teammates and flow and which way a guy's going to break versus, we talked about soccer a little bit, but mainly basketball, how, the game is still the game. The dimensions are still the dimensions, but kind of like what you alluded to, I need to know if I'm coming into a team with Jim Les, where you like the ball when you're beyond the arc. How do you like it low? Do you like it high? Where's your rhythm? Where are you going to cut? Which way are you going to cut? And I feel like there's those things that'll take time, but ultimately, you want to do well on any team that's new to you that you're coming into, much like I'm sure LaVine will want to do tonight.
Yeah, and that first one, and I don't care how experienced you are, veteran you are, that first game on the new team in the new building, that generates some grade school butterflies, back where hey, you're hyped up but you're feeling it and you want to do so well. So that's a unique experience, but I'm sure he's going to handle it well. I think just from an outsider, without really delving into the numbers, what I was always impressed with De'Aaron was his impact on winning. And, stats are stats, but his ability and willingness to take and make big shots and want the ball at the end of the game, those are unique qualities that not everybody has, and that'll be the biggest thing to replace, in my opinion.
Coach Jim Les, UC Davis basketball coach, joining us. Well, Coach, we started this. You said, you're trying to get back on track. Had a tough couple of games last week. You're going right back down to Southern California. How do you get the Aggies back on track with where you're trying to get them to this year? Well,
it's two games that we were in both games and should have at least won one and had a chance to win two, and just didn't quite execute. And as much as the energy and effort was there, it was the concentration and ability to execute. So just addressing it and talking about it, and the teams that it's February and it seems like, hey, this has been a long grind in the basketball season. It's a marathon that you have to continue to get better. And the teams that continue to get better through January, through February, are the teams that are left standing, come March. So our ability is to, hey, look at those things and yes, be disappointed, but make sure we're continuing to learn and grow. And so we don't make those same mistakes twice this week when we head out on the road, and most likely close games, and being able to win those and make sure our execution is on point. pull those games out, because we're right there. It's not like, we had 2 blowouts. It's not like we're really struggling from playing. We put ourselves in position on the road to win 2 games, but didn't. What can we learn from that?
And last question, Coach. Is it when you need to correct things, when your team is doing something that you as a coach need to step in, whether it's X's and O's or a psychological thing or a combination, is it easier or more difficult to do that on the road when you're all together, away from school, classes, distractions? Is it harder, or is there even a difference?
No, I think it's always easier on the road to find that time, because the schedule when we're at home is it's hectic. Guys are running to class right after practice. They're coming in maybe practice right on the buzzer just because they're coming from class, and there's a lot of distractions. And on the road, it's great to sit in the lobby and pull a guy. Hey, meet me downstairs. Let's go over some clips from the game. And there's a attention that you can get on the road because it's kind of just us against the world, and their timetable is a lot freer. So it's a good time to do that, and we certainly did that, and we'll see if it can pay some dividends this week.
That's Coach Jim Les, UC Davis Aggies basketball, which, of course, you can hear Scott Marsh calling each and every game right here on Sacktown Sports. Coach, we always love and appreciate your insight. We really do. Thanks so much, whether it's a winning streak, whether it's a losing streak, or whatever, for always coming on and having a great attitude and making us feel better about things. So we really do appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, take care. That is Coach Jim Les. We'll pause. We'll take a break. When we come back, Kings aren't done, we think, and we'll do our best to update you on the scuttlebutt around the league as we grow ever closer to the trade deadline on Zach LaVine Day right here on Sacktown Sports.
Slayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of Tax Slayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use Tax Slayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from a good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleyststrong.com.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Ooh, ma.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, Sacramento, it's time to party. Join us for the ultimate big game watch party at Mix Downtown, hosted by Sacktown Sports. On Sunday, February 9th, feast on Mix's all-you-can-eat taco and nacho bar and big game bites while watching the biggest football game of the year. Catch all the action on Mix's large projection screens and HD TVs. Doors open at 2 p.m. Kickoff is at 3. Mix Downtown, located at 16th and L Streets in Sacramento. It's 21 and over, so bring your crew and let's make it a game day to remember. For details, visit mixdowntown.net.
Fall head over boots in love with music this Valentine's Day. Get ready for Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, returning May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, and more. Enjoy food trucks, mechanical bulls, and line dancing. Tickets start at just $52. Visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club. Don't just say, I love you. Show it with music. Buy tickets now.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports, 1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
I need to tell you a story about that later.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I love story times. I love it. Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross. Trade deadline tomorrow. Tomorrow, right? Tomorrow afternoon?
Correct.
Okay.
Or is it noon? 3? I
Yeah,
can't remember which
one of
time
the
it is.
Eastern-y thingy or whatever.
And then it always hits. I'm like, oh, the trades are done. And then there's like 3 that are announced afterwards.
Just
1 o'clock Central Time.
Sounds like a Nurkic Valanciunas deal might be happening. I think I'd heard yesterday.
What do you mean? For each
For
other?
each other.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah. Everything I continue to hear is that the Kings fully now. When you say the Kings are not done, like I saw our friend Sean Cunningham.
Yeah.
I saw a report from him yesterday stating that the Kings are looking to do at least 2 more moves. And that could be misconstrued. Nothing wrong with what Sean said.
Right.
They are going to do 2 more moves. They have to. They have 2 open roster spots. But that's not what we're talking about. They have their goal is to do 2 more moves. And we're not talking like no disrespect to Jay Crowder, but a Jay Crowder type where they just pick up a free agent. And the one piece I have heard is they are still in on Cam Johnson.
Okay.
They are 100% still in on Cam Johnson. There's multiple teams that have presented their last and best to the Brooklyn Nets. I know San Antonio is one. I don't know the other team. Or, well, I think I know the other team. I've heard but I don't know it enough to be able to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much up to Sean Marks now in Brooklyn as to
what offer they want.
If that's the offer they want, if they want to hold on to him. But from everything I've heard, they are still in on Cam Johnson, along with some other things as well. But that's the one I know they're still in.
Yeah, we broached. I don't know what it would cost the Kings. I don't know what their last best offer is, but that's the one they said. What if they added him and somehow, some way kept most of the core that they have? It'd be an interesting lineup thing.
That's what we were talking about yesterday. Is even if they are to pull that off, which would be awesome, but then it's like, God, what are you giving up? Also, who are you?
Yeah, where does he go?
Where does he go?
Yeah.
Who's getting? It's a great problem to have, and it's a funny problem when you're at 500.
Right.
But the bottom line is that our starting lineup has not ever been really the problem.
Correct.
It's the bench. So someone's got to go to the bench if that were to happen.
Which should make it better.
Which should
Whoever
absolutely
it is.
make it better. So then who do you tab as the sixth man? Do you tab Malik Monk? I can't see that. I know that he's been the sixth man before, but all the guy did was
point guard.
He's playing point guard. He's playing it well.
Yeah.
He I honestly think that part of the whole Fox trade was how great Malik Monk's been doing. That didn't hurt.
Right.
He signed a great contract, a great team-friendly contract. His best friend got traded. To now ask him to go back to the bench after he's done everything that's been asked, I just don't see that happen.
Yeah.
Sabonis ain't going anywhere,
No.
so you get that out of the way. So then you go, okay, well, that leaves DeRozan, Murray, and Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Well, Zach LaVine's not going on the bench. Okay, so I think we can rule out 3. So then it would come down to, all right, are you benching Keegan or are you benching DeMar DeRozan?
Or Cam Johnson.
Right. I find it incredibly difficult to believe that they would acquire Cam Johnson and put him on the bench. I'm not saying it's impossible.
How would that be different than DeMar? I mean, they acquired him.
I keep going back to DeMar and going, God, would he be like an absolutely insane sixth man? Would he be? And we're not talking about like DeMar on the bench playing 18 minutes a game. Right. We're talking about DeMar on the bench playing, 28 to 32. The thing there is that not only do you have a guy that is a walking bucket, you also have a guy who can give you 40 minutes a night and doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's very durable. Also, by the way, knock on wood, but you got to think at some point someone's going to get a knock here and there or whatever.
Sure.
But the point here is that you, excuse me, you're acquiring another starter to augment your bench. They're going to have some conversations. They're going to have some things to go over. Good problems, though.
Yeah, I mean, he is a starter in Brooklyn. Like, again, I'm going to point, he was primarily been a bench player.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's not worthy of being a starter, but I personally would like that deal much more if they kept all the guys you said. Like, if it is at the expense of one of those other guys, I think you're just moving.
You're shifting the deck chairs.
That one doesn't excite me as much. If you keep all those guys, then let's go.
The only reason, and by the way, the only reason I keep bringing up DeMar is not, somebody asked me yesterday, like, why do you want to trade DeMar? I want to trade DeMar. I love DeMar. What I'm saying is that when you look at what's going on, especially if it was a multiple team deal and DeMar was being traded to a contender, because I think it'd be kind of lame to trade him to Brooklyn.
I agree.
Especially they're
going through a rebuild.
That's exactly right.
What they're doing.
But the thing is that you're going to need that income. You're going to need that salary to trade off at some point. Like, you're going to have to come up with salary. And so you could do that with a Lyles and this guy and that guy, but now you're depleted again.
Right.
So the reason why a DeMar in that trade would make sense would be because the salary does work. And then maybe you're doing something where, okay, you mentioned shifting the chairs. Yes, unless you acquire multiple players in that deal to augment that bench as well. Right. It's not just about, let's say, we're using Cam Johnson as an example. You're not just using Cam Johnson. You're using Cam Johnson and whatever comes with him. My question for you is this. Let's stick with Cam Johnson because that's the one name we're sure of that's available. Would you rather the Kings acquire a guy like Cam Johnson to either start or be the sixth man? Or would you rather the Kings, let's call Cam Johnson just for, what's in giggles. Let's call him an A-grade acquisition.
Okay.
Do you think it would behoove the Kings to acquire that A-grade Cam Johnson guy, and now you've got somebody on your bench to help? Or would you rather see the Kings acquire maybe 2 B guys and a C guy to all clearly coming off the bench, but now you've augmented that bench? You haven't added that A guy, but you've added depth.
I think the A guy would be my plan because I think you literally have to add more, even if it's an A guy with 3 C guys.
Sure.
I think that's
You
better.
think that's better?
I think.
I go back.
I always
and forth.
take more talent. I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, I know we've been talking about the bench the entirety of the season, the way it's played out.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, and it's tough to put us back in this spot, Dave. But let's try our best to go back to October. And when you know that at that time it's Keon, it's Malik, we think coming off the bench, or Herter. That was kind of our debate. Still Trey Lyles. Pretty quickly they added McDermott and Crowder, and they still had Len. I didn't think it was going to be an issue. I wasn't going, hey, the Kings have the best bench in the league, but I went, that sounds pretty good. Like there's some guys that can play. It hasn't played that way.
It really,
which has been a little surprise. I mean, honestly, Herter has didn't play anywhere near the level that he had before. Lyles missed some time early on. Keon's been great, but it's just there hasn't been enough of that from the bench.
No, when you look at the bench right now, I mean, look, Devin Carter's a rookie. He's developed. That's fine. Keon, that's a quality bench piece. A guy who many think should start. Trey Lyles, quality bench piece. But then, Alex Len, Doug McDermott, Isaac Jones has potential, but not there yet. Jay Crowder's the type of guy that I could see coming in to play playoff time. That would help you out a lot. But so far,
he'll still go down as like when the story is written of the year, like, oh, they added Jay Crowder without a practice. He started for 2 or 3 games,
came off the couch and started,
and then has basically almost never been seen again.
Almost in a different way, KZ Okpolish type of move.
Hey, let's throw Chris Duarte in for a couple of starts. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's when they were really chasing stuff.
So anyway, I think the thought to me, I mean, I know now it sounds silly, but I didn't think the bench would be what it is. I mean, it's one of the worst benches in the league.
It is one of the worst benches in the league. They've addressed, in a sense, their 3-point shooting issues with Zach LaVine. Now the other part of that is
if it's Cam, then they've even more.
They really have addressed it, but we also still need that backup big. We need that other piece of beef. So for me, I mean, obviously, if we're sitting here somehow, I don't think this will happen, but if we were sitting here somehow day after the deadline and they acquired Zach LaVine, Cam Johnson, and Jonas Valanciunas, I'm a pretty happy camper.
Yeah.
The other name that I don't know that the Kings would be in the mix necessarily, but because it would be more expensive than Valanciunas, but the other name that also seems to be floating around a little bit is Jakob Poeltl. And Jakob Poeltl is, I mean, I would much rather have him over Valanciunas. I just don't know. The price is going to be more for him.
Yeah, I think that would be an important distinction. What that would cost. Yeah, but I'm anxious.
I love his game
to see what. I mean, the timing. Obviously, that we're getting closer on the deadline.
Yep.
It's just over 24 hours away,
and we will. Just so you know, Monty McNair's press conference. They're having 2 today. One with just him. That's at 9:30. We will carry that live. And then later on in the afternoon, while Alan's on, I believe, they'll be talking to Zach LaVine. They'll have a co-press conference.
I think that's at noon.
I think you're right. Alan will have that live as well. And then I don't want to get too specific, but we have requested let me give credit to the Kings. Actually, they reached out. We have a standing request, but Monty McNair will be joining us. The question is, will he join us this Friday, day after the trade deadline, or will he join us Monday? And just pulling back the curtains, guys, one of the lines of demarcation there is also if they make more moves, then he will almost certainly join us Monday because he can't talk about those moves until physicals are final. Right. They have a press conference and
doesn't
all that.
Do us any good.
It doesn't do us any good because I don't want to have him on and not be able to talk about half the crap that's going on. So at 7:43, Jason, coming up in just exactly half an hour, I kind of want to open it up because you see this publicly. You know me, I read everything, and I see a handful of people that are saying, oh, I wonder if the press is going to ask him the tough questions. It's the soft media, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. So we've done this before.
Are we the press?
I think we are. Oh. We're the mainstream media.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do
new media.
is I would like to open it up and say, okay, guys, what would you ask him? And we'll get some of those questions in. Now, look, straight up. If one of your questions, why are you so stupid with your stupid picks? Well, we're not going to ask that question. Yeah, cross that one off, Jason. But we're not going to sidestep tough questions at all. So if it is put yourself in our shoes. there's no question we're not going to ask, but it needs to be a professional and respectful way of asking it. So please keep that in mind in a half an hour when you're submitting your questions. And I promise you, we'll get a handful of them in. We always do. We always try. We won't edit. And by the way, a lot of the questions you're going to ask, we're already going to ask anyways. So look, we're not bringing Monty McNair on to necessarily hold his feet to the fire, depending on what happens over the next couple of days. But I would just merely submit this. We have had Pete D'Alessandro on the show before and in this time slot and told him to his face that he was screwing up. We had Monty on at training camp and said to his face, we think you're absolutely not focused enough on the bigs, and that's an incredible. We're not Billy Badass, but we're not going to be disrespectful. But we've never been afraid to ask the direct and tough questions. And to their credit, we've never gotten any feedback afterwards, like, you shouldn't ask that question. Like, they've always answered them the best way possible. And Monty's a Princeton guy. Look, he's very good at answering the question, sort of.
Yeah.
So
he knows how to do it.
He knows exactly how to do it. So we want you to be involved, though. We'll take a break. When we come back, 3 for Madness, expectations galore. And what do you want to see or hear from Monty at his presser today? We'll get to that right after this.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal and every detail matters. Check out the new Napoleon Prestige and Rogue models and see the difference a Napoleon makes. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium stainless steel, boasting absolute quality. Napoleon knows that the smallest details add up to make a big difference when curating your perfect grilling experience. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, so we got a bunch of debuts tonight, including some ex-Kings. We'll get to that at 7:28. What do you want to ask Monty? Save it. Save it for now. I see some stuff popping up in the chat. Save it because at 7:43, we'll actually write some down. And then later on in the program, we'll look at the deadline history, the trade deadline history for the Kings as well. We'll preview Kings Magic. We're going to try to get 4-down territory in today. There is a Super Bowl on Sunday,
I guess.
for gosh sakes. And,
yeah.
Katie joins us at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, sound the alarm.
That'll be
Let's
hard
go.
game. Exactly. Yeah. In the meantime, Kyle Ledbetter is in for the occasionally here, but not really Christopher Love.
How does that guy work?
Yeah, geez. I'm the one that gets all the crap.
Yeah.
Where's Chris? 3 for Madness. Question 1.
He always takes vacation at the strangest time.
He really does. He's a contrarian.
Yeah.
Number 1, what are your expectations for Zach LaVine tonight versus Orlando?
I think we got to be really careful. The guy hasn't played in a few days. He's living at the Sawyer probably right now out of a suitcase. Just had a baby. Baby LaVine. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I will temper my expectations. 45 points.
That's fair.
10 assists or I would say 15 combined assists and rebounds. I'd like a couple of highlight dunks and at least a 20-point win to start. Yeah. And then as he settles in,
then
we
he'll
can
find
kind
his
of
game.
you got to let him look. What I would rather him do is I would rather him hold in a little bit and get in where he fits in. Rather than a lot of times, you come to a new place, there's a lot of pressure. It's a home debut. It's almost probably easier to debut on the road, to be honest. The crowd is going to be incredibly loving and energetic. And, don't think he hasn't thought of this. Like, I'm the guy that is tasked with getting these guys to get over losing De'Aaron Fox, and then we see him go, 8 of 27 because he's just trying to force it. I'd rather him stay within himself and understand that he's got really good teammates. that can do a lot of really good things.
Yeah, I think DeMar will help him with that,
Yes.
hopefully too. And let's think about his transition. He was on a team that, at this point, Dave, he was the guy. He was the centerpiece of the Chicago Bulls and what
He
they
was a
were.
guard, but yeah.
So, but he has other people that are. I mean, Sabonis has been playing great. DeMar's been playing well, and Malik. So, it's not. He's got to find that sweet spot of fitting in, but also finding out what has made him an all-star before. Like, he's a terrific player. So, I mean, and then you want him to kind of land in the spot that part of the reason why they got him was to shoot the ball. He's a gifted shooter.
Well, and let's be honest. No offense to Chicago or the fans or the team. This is a better team. This is a better team than the Chicago Bulls. He's out west now. He's playing with an old friend of his. And look, Chicago actually has great fans. It's louder in Sacramento. It's a different type of fan in Sacramento. And I think it may remind him, honestly, this is probably a lot closer to Target Center and Minnesota's fans, the Chicago's fans, who obviously have those big market expectations. And you're playing in the building Michael flipping Jordan built.
Right.
So we're playing in the building that Mitch Richmond built. No offense to Mitch, but come on.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a boost for the team, but there's also going to be a little kick in the tushy for Zach LaVine as well coming out here.
Absolutely.
He's going to be hyped.
Yep.
Number 2, please.
Question 2.
What are your expectations for De'Aaron Fox tonight versus the Atlanta Hawks?
Kyle, who cares? We traded him. God. I think with De'Aaron, a little bit different because he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. I think I will. Did you see? Did
there was some breaking news there. Let's see.
Oh, there was.
It looks like the Bucks have traded Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma.
There you go. That was rumored last night to happen. So Chris Middleton, and by the way, I guess we should throw out too, as trades come in and as things develop, we'll have the updates for you.
Here's the full trade. Bucks get Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin Jr., second-round draft compensation. The Wizards get Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and a pick swap.
Interesting. And a pick swap. Okay. I'm trying to think. How does this affect LeBron's legacy?
Great question.
And
will this impact him and Luka together?
By the way, Middleton's last 3 games, he has scored a grand total of 63 points. He's back and playing and healthy.
Portis may be in play.
I don't hate that. I've liked Bobby Portis for he like the type of guy that comes in, brings some toughness. He's a dude. He's a dude. Probably his best years are behind him, but he's not like Rip Van Winkle here.
Right.
Like he can still contribute. I wouldn't mind a pickup. That would be a quality pickup for this.
Yeah, and the Bucks, the reasoning they've wanted to get younger and or some cap flexibility. So interesting.
Most importantly, the legendary duo of Pool Boy and Jacuzzi finishes with a record of 23-108 with the Washington Wizards.
Is that bad?
I'd think it's better than I expected.
They kept Bagley in the deal, huh?
Yeah, they did. Interesting. Now you've got Lillard, Kuzma, Giannis, Brooke Lopez, and Taurean Prince probably in there. There's some shooting going on. I'm honestly curious to see how Kyle Kuzma does on a different team. I want to know if
he was on a bad team.
Yeah, and I am curious. I didn't want it to be this team that we found out necessarily, but has Kyle Kuzma kind of fallen off, or is Kyle Kuzma just like, dude, I'm in Washington?
Yeah, like when he was here, like he looked totally checked out. He's had some better games since, but I when the Kings played him here, I just like,
yeah.
But Washington now has Jordan Poole, Malcolm Brogdon, and Jonas Valanciunas all available for trade.
Yeah.
Who wants that Poole contract?
No, God, that contract is so terrible. That contract is, I still can't believe Washington took that contract.
Yeah. Anyone want Chris Middleton?
Who did they trade for Poole?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
It's part of the Beal trade.
Paul for Poole.
Yeah.
Beal contract's another. Yeah. Also, how about Kevin Durant maybe being on the move?
My goodness.
Getting the band back together. Him and Steph. And Ishbia wants Draymond Green.
Ishbia, who would trade our roster? Everybody would trade our roster. Nobody. What was this line?
About 28 other teams would trade rosters with us.
Yeah.
No, Matt.
And you're trading your roster.
Yeah,
now.
stick to mortgage. Yeah. Ryan says on the chat, by the way, that I joked about being sick yesterday, and Verlad's the one who got sick and is gone. No, Chris isn't gone. Yeah, he had it first, but he's not sick.
Yeah, this is planned.
He's on his own little road.
Well, he is sick, but he's also on vacation.
Good point right there. It was expectations for De'Aaron Fox. I would expect. I honestly think with De'Aaron, I do not expect like 30 points something. I expect we'll probably get a couple. I'll bet you we get like one or two highlights between him and Wemby. I would expect something like 14 to 16 points, and just him trying to kind of fit into the mix out there.
Yeah, they were able to keep all their players, but I wouldn't be surprised if they break that. I mean, they don't have an issue, but like honestly, De'Aaron isn't coming in as the only point guard. They've got Chris Paul. I mean, that's fine. De'Aaron's would be ahead, but Castle and just a lot of guys that kind of handle the ball. Yeah. So they'll sort it out. They'll be fine, but I think De'Aaron he'll fit in eventually just fine.
Well, he goes for 50 tonight, straight off the bat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. As long as we win.
Exactly.
I don't care. We traded him. Who cares?
Can't catch the Kings if the Kings keep winning.
Number 3, please.
Question 3.
All right, in 30 seconds or less, what's the one thing you'd like to hear from Monty McNair at his press conference today?
We have acquired Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Bucks
for nothing.
I would like. I mean, in a perfect
but Giannis
world,
comes off the bench.
Yeah, he's 6 man. That will help our bench. In a perfect world, Jason, if you had the one silver bullet question that you could ask and you would get the lie detector answer, if I had to pick one question, I think it would be, do you blame, what can you tell us that, in your opinion, outside looking in, the franchise did wrong in leading up to the trade of De'Aaron Fox? In other words, was the Fox trade more of De'Aaron's creation or more of the internals within the franchise? And if so, please be specific.
Yeah, I think mine is rooted in the same theme. It's kind of what I said the other day. Like, did you have to do this trade or want to do this trade?
And it's an important question,
Jason. Kind of similar threads in there.
Exactly. And as we go to break, because I can already hear some of the reaction, like, who cares? He's gone. It's over. Move forward. No, I don't care about the De'Aaron Fox aspect like you think. It's incredibly important, if it was internal, and I've said this till I'm blue in the face, to get it out there, get it public, acknowledge it so it doesn't repeat itself. Right. That's the thing. I no longer care. De'Aaron Fox is a Spur.
Correct.
What I do care about is the guys on this team right now, the guys we want in the future, and building towards a title. And if there are issues within the franchise, I want to know that they've been weeded out and corrected, or if we're just screwed. And, it's not like we're going to find that out. Yeah. But I think that's why it's important. We'll take a break. Very quick, 2-minute break, an update on overhead from Jason Ross. When we come back, Fox and Herter debut. And let's take a look at this roster today as opposed to a few years ago and talk about the progression of it as well. We'll do it next.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Hey, that weather over the last day or so has been pretty nasty. We've got some more rain and cold and all the winter elements that we do get here in Sacramento coming over the next couple of days. So you want to make sure your garage door isn't stuck in those winter blues. February is the perfect time to give it some love. So at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, they're here to keep your garage door running smoothly. So this February, they're spreading the love with their Sweetheart Special. It's $150 off a garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener. Now, the experts at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, they provide fast, reliable service. They're always on time. And the best part, it's always done right. Again, they're professionals. They're great in their industry. They've been that for consistently for 70 plus years. So with that squeaky hinges to full door replacements, they do have you covered. So don't let your garage door be the heartbreaker this season. Visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com for your free estimate as they're opening doors to your home and your heart this February. Again, family owned and operated, an incredible company, great people, and a great product that you'll be happy with for years and years. So you can check them out or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you gotta drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with 0 down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Carmichael Dave. He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
I'm having this ongoing, like, weeks-long social media battle with my friends over in England who are incredibly upset that I don't like British food that much.
Yeah.
And are absolutely like,
thanks for listening.
They won't let it go. Like, I'm like, hey man, it's good if you like what you like.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm not a huge fan. I lose weight every time I go over there. It's not great. There's a reason Indian food is like the #1 food in England. Like, true story.
Yeah.
And it's just like a thing, dude. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Well, and then they come back.
Better food.
Well, they come back with like, American food sucks. It's all full of this and this and that. I'm like, yeah, I admit that, but we like it. The one that really gets me is they think our gravies are tasteless. Like, the idea of biscuits and gravy is disgusting to them. Flavorless floured gravy poured over a scone, as they say, disgusting. I'm like, bro, you eat blood sausage. Your gravy is like a soup. It's not thick.
Last time I had biscuits and gravy, you made it in this studio.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Was it flavorless?
No, remember, it had a lot of pepper.
Did have a lot of pepper. And I mean, for them to say something we make is flavorless, it's like, bro.
Yeah.
You put
it's like eating this.
It is. You cook your bacon medium rare and put it on an egg with a tomato and a mushroom and blood sausage and call that breakfast. Like, what are we doing here? Like, really, what are we doing here?
The wrong thing.
When was the last time you heard people like randomly, they were like, wow, that British cuisine is amazing?
It's never.
Get off of me. Biscuits and gravy's disgusting. That's why they lost the war.
Yeah.
They had a 13 colony lead. That's why they lost the war. De'Aaron Fox and Kevin Herter make their debuts tonight. By the way, trade deadline coming up tomorrow. We will have all your updates right here on Sacktown Sports as they happen. We already have a Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma trade between the Bucks and the Wizards. And with the debuts of Fox and Herter, I'm at the point where I go, you know what? I hope you guys both do well.
Absolutely.
I want you to do well.
I like them both personally.
I want them to do well. I want them to do well enough. Like, I'm not really worried about Kevin Herter in Chicago. They're nowhere near anything. Not that the Spurs are, but like, I mean, let me ask you this. Do you want to see De'Aaron Fox win a championship in San Antonio?
No.
Me neither.
No.
But I want him to do well.
Yeah.
Not that well.
Well, okay. we're asking the question. So could he do it if somehow the Kings did it first?
You'd be okay with that. I'd be better with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want him to have not success.
Right.
What's going to piss me off is when he's an all-star the next 4 years in a row because he's in San Antonio.
Yeah. That's why, like what I said yesterday, it's like, could they have just done this somehow, some way with just Chicago? And maybe there's, wouldn't be the exact deal in return, but I think then it'd be easier to root for De'Aaron. Go kill it in Chicago. But he's not in Chicago. He's in San Antonio, and that's a team that could take a Kings position this year. And in years to come, they will be a team to be threatened with.
Which would hurt more, no pun intended. De'Aaron Fox makes the All-Star team next year. Kevin Huerter makes the All-Star team next year.
Fox.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, Huerter would be a stunner. It'd be great.
Right.
I mean, I'd be
a total
really
stunner.
happy for him.
But
if it's an Eastern Conference All-Star, I'd be like, good for him.
I'm thinking about that. I was thinking about that last night just for funsies. I'm like, God, I feel like Huerter would hurt more, no pun intended, because
we failed him.
Because then it's like, oh God, what was wrong with us?
Yeah.
He wasn't playable here towards the end.
Yeah, like his first year here, you wouldn't say he was an All-Star. You're like, that's a pretty good player.
Absolutely.
And now you're like, people literally go, you can't play him. Like, well, I think you can play him, but they stopped.
I'm old enough to remember when for a good 5 months out of the first season he was here, it was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
We've got ourselves a gunner. And he's going to the All-Star game and the 3-point shootout. You could do, I don't think you can do a 30 for 30, but I think you can do a
3 for 3.
A 3 for 3, a 5 for 5. Yeah, exactly. 3 for 3 on Kevin Huerter.
With Kevin Huerter, it's a 3 for 10.
Jesus, dude. He used to come on the show. We're friends with him, right?
Can't believe you said that, Chris Verlaut.
He still hasn't texted me back, by the way. Yeah, Chris. Kevin Huerter pre-3-point
the pre and post.
The first minute and a half, the first minute 20 is Kevin's performance
He can't miss.
Right. Then the next 20 seconds is
the 3-point contest,
which was horrible.
Representing Sacramento and show all the Kings fans just going nuts.
Right.
Right.
And then no offense or disrespect, but it was like Carlton, like when he threw the
offense.
It was it was just really bad.
Yeah.
And then after it's like I know it had nothing to do with it, but it's like it's like in Star Trek, like before and after Commander Riker grew the beard. Like
Same.
the line, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
The line of demarcation for Kevin Huerter for us is, in fact, that 3-point contest. And then afterwards, it's just like you saw these moments, and like then Mike Brown was really working with him on defense. And it's like it wasn't lack of effort. It wasn't because he wasn't a professional. He wasn't like out at the clubs. It just didn't work. And I think his confidence just got so smashed in. There is a good rotational NBA player in there, and he's still young enough to figure it out. And I really, really hope he does.
I do too.
Fox,
he's going to be great.
He's
a great player. Just don't be that great.
When he goes to San Antonio, he's like half the player. Well, if he goes to San Antonio, like never averages 20, it's like we were propping him up the whole time. Is there any chance of that? Like, is there any chance that he was better? Is there any chance
we had the best years of
like
De'Aaron Fox?
Like just like we kind of smushed Kevin Huerter. Like, did De'Aaron Fox have the best years of his career? Yeah, he peaked here. Years later, people are like, "Wow, they got Hall of Famer Zach LaVine for think about De'Aaron Fox. He was really I'm trying to think of like other examples." I'm sure there are other examples when a guy got traded, he was like a stud. Well, nowhere near the level. But I think when Jordan Poole got traded to the Wizards,
he was playing at a higher level with the Warriors.
I think there were a lot of people who are like, wow, this guy could be a future, compete for the scoring title.
Sure.
Like this he's young, he's a stud. I can't believe the Warriors traded him.
He'll have unlimited shots there. He'll be a scoring leader, like you said.
And now it's like, Jesus, he's got like one of the top 5 worst contracts in the league.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him.
I
really am. I'm rooting for him. I hope look, they're in Texas. People are bringing up DeMarcus Cousins. That's a little different. That was DeMarcus Cousins and those Pelicans were that's a 30 for 30. What happens if Cousins doesn't take that step and smashes Achilles? And that, the 3-point contest for Huerter, the smashed Achilles for DeMarcus.
Yeah.
That started this spiral where now some would argue, and I would argue this, that DeMarcus was a ticking time bomb on it. if you go back and you remember when DeMarcus was here, the amount of times he would sit out the last 5, 10, 15 games because he would always have some sort of lower body injury. He's carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a matter of time with age and with the mileage, even though he was never a playoff guy. But a lot of mileage on that body that event, you could argue that was eventually going to happen anyways. But before it did, Jason, he and Anthony Davis in New Orleans, they were balling.
Oh, it was
out.
incredible. And I don't know if I think there's some parallels to Luka, not in the injury part, but where it's like, look, he's played, his numbers suggest he should be remember he's going to get a massive contract. And the Kings were at that point, like, you either do this and go forward or move him. And they ultimately moved him, and they couldn't have predicted the injury, which is just, that's awful. No one would root for that for the guy. But it changed his career to have the injury. But the Kings were in that spot. Do we pay this guy a huge contract? And we know more than anybody what the issues are, and they chose to trade him.
It's funny with as bad as the Kings have been historically and the amount of movement they've had in and out. I'm trying to, in my head, come up with a Mount Rushmore of Kings that did really well once they left Sacramento. And I think for obvious reasons, you got to put Tyrese Halliburton on there, but Isaiah Thomas, he was a stud with the Celtics, but then it gets a little honestly, I'm sitting here and the name that comes into my head, short sample size, but Dante DiVincenzo had a really good couple of years after here, but
Peja was pretty good.
Peja was good.
Yeah.
So you go Peja. But I think the point of the exercise, what I'm trying to make, and I'm thinking about this point out loud, is that weirdly enough, the list is not terribly long of Kings that have excelled when they've left here.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, other than Michael Malone, what coach came through here that ended up being a really great coach elsewhere after the Kings? Most of the time, a lot of times, they never had coach again, or they're multiple firings.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a long list of coaches. I guess Adelman in Houston.
Yeah.
Obviously, Michael Malone won a championship in Denver. That's about it. And it's the same. It's similar with players. Kevin Martin had a decent career.
Other people went on and won championships, but they weren't
like Jason Williams. Yeah. But Jason, he wasn't better elsewhere than he was here.
Yeah, Peja won a championship elsewhere. Mitch Richmond, but again, Mitch was nearing the end, and Weber wasn't the same after he left.
Weber was never the same after he left.
After the injury.
And I think Peja had his best years here.
Yeah.
So it's just the list of players that were actually better elsewhere than they were here is not as long as you'd think. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, all right, we'll open up the phone lines and we'll open up the text lines and the chat lines. Look, we're gonna have Monty McNair on. He's gonna have a press conference today. We'll carry that at 9:30. He'll also have a second press conference. They're making up for all the not press conferences. They're having two in one day. So he and Zach LaVine, you said I think at noon. We'll have him on. Probably either Friday or Monday. We'll announce that as soon as we got that locked in.
Yeah.
But what's the media going to ask? Well, here's your chance. Give us some questions you'd like to ask. Keep them respectful, but tough questions welcomed. Or not so tough questions. I don't care. And we'll do our best to fit some of them in.
Okay. I got someone. I got one of the personal text lines suggesting Otis Thorpe. He went on to Houston.
That's a great one.
That's a couple titles there. That's a good one.
That's old school.
Yeah.
That is a great one, as a matter of fact. Now, did Reggie do much when he left here? I got to go back and look. Theus?
Yeah.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll think about that during the break. Jason's going to update you on what's going on with Gonzalez Law. Thank God, because I was thinking about that last night. What is going on?
I'm going to tell you.
You're going to tell us, and we'll get questions from Monty next.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Team night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Well, Dave, you asked, so I'm going to deliver. Let's tell you about Gonzalez Law. Yeah, Jonathan Gonzalez, local right here in our community, has been here for a long time and has been successful for a long time. He is always on top of the case that he's working on, his case preparation, his overall approach. It's resulted in life-changing results for thousands of his clients. You can reach him at 916-304-9187 at sacklegaldefense.com. And there's many different ways in which you might need a form of representation. A lot of you maybe made mistakes when you were younger, and sometimes those mistakes continue to follow you and keep you from doing some things that you'd like to do. Well, he can help with that. That's actually one of his areas of expertise. with expungements. And a lot of people have called and inquired about that and have been happy with the results, and you could do that same thing. So getting some things to clear up your record in the past, whether it's criminal defense, sexual harassment, auto accidents, wrongful termination cases, whatever the situation you feel you need representation, or you're just not sure, what do I do? I have some questions. Why not give him a call? It's Jonathan Gonzalez. His law office is right in downtown Sacramento, 916-304-9187, or go to saclegaldefense.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Right now, get up to a $15 gift card after rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
On Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Katie will join us at 9. We were talking about Kings that have gone on to do better after they left here. Someone mentioned, I think it was Ryan mentioned that Nimi Keita and Justin Jackson both won championships. Yeah. Come on. No offense to them, but like, I don't think they were playing better then than they were here. Yeah. You know, Gerald Wallace, we missed. Gerald Wallace, we definitely
That
missed.
one we knew would happen.
Yeah. We had a feeling.
He was on a great team, left.
Yep.
And he went to a terrible team in Charlotte. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna play.
Yes.
He'll do fine. Yeah, that's one.
That was one of Jeff Petrie's final master strokes, grabbing a freshman out of Alabama when it wasn't in vogue to grab freshmen. And he rode the bench for a while. Started the Wallace chant when he'd come in. Boy, could that guy fly.
Woo!
He ended up having a really, really good career.
One of the great voices of all time.
Oh, my God, yes.
I think I remember the first time I'm like,
yeah.
wait, he's 19 or whatever. It's
like
what?
The lowest baritone ever with a little accent in there. Monty McNair's presser starts in just under 2 hours. We'll carry that live right here. And excuse me, sorry, will also carry his second presser with Zach LaVine at noon during Allen's show. And we'll have Monty on sometime, probably, as we said, Friday or Monday. So I want to give, you see this stuff all the time. Are they going to ask any questions? It's going to be softball. Look, we're not going to. I will tell you this in advance. Okay, here's what the interview won't be. Monty, you're terrible, and it's been crap. Your thoughts. It won't be that, but it also won't be, would you rather fight 100, duck-sized horses or 10 horse-sized ducks? It won't be one of those either. It'll be right there in the middle of, cross that one off too. I think I'll start, Jason. For me, I want to know what led up to the Fox thing. Now, we can kind of also strategize and think about what's coming here. I expect that will be met with a little bit of an answer, but mostly of we're moving on.
Sure.
Don't want to relitigate the past.
Yeah. Do you think? And I think with we're not going to be at the press conference. Obviously, today we're going to be during the show, and you're going to hear it. And we will talk to Monty later, like you said, either Friday or Monday. But I bet there's going to be a portion of people today that, because they haven't talked to him, that are going to ask about Mike Brown still.
Yes. And
right?
and
that could also be a move on, but that hasn't been addressed.
We haven't had a chance to talk about
it. I think people want to know about that.
And I think, to be fair, too, you and I will both listen to every word, as many will, of his press conferences today. And a little bit of that's going to predicate what we say. Look, if it's asked and answered, then we'll play that with no reason to ask him again if he's asked and answered it. But to be fair, if he either wasn't asked something we want to know, or if he was asked, he answered, but we want to follow up on that. So when you hear us talk to him, there may very well be hey, you said in your presser on Thursday,
there'll be some repeats.
Wanted to follow up on that. But I think a lot of it has to do with the Fox stuff. And then I think we need to push him a little bit on the front line and the bench depth and how that happened, how we got here.
Yeah. And again, my guess today would be look, the deadline's not done. And that's factually true.
Yeah.
But they still were in the predicament, though. Even they could add 3 frontline players today. In a sense, you're also admitting you didn't.
Right.
If that's their target for trades now, it's because you were light there.
And it's a little unfair to get into specifics, but for example, we look at a guy like Carter coming in, no offense to him, but you had Khalil Ware a couple of picks behind him, and gee golly, could have used him. And that's just a couple years removed from Davion Mitchell and a couple picks behind him, Alperen Şengün, who we could imagine this Kings team, if you're sitting with Sabonis and Şengün playing off of each other. Now, I don't know that necessarily they're going to overlap a lot.
Sure.
But, if the answer is best player available, then you have a scouting problem. Or at least in that instance, you had a scouting problem because, sorry, David, but it seems that Monty and his staff value guards. Through the years, there has been a shift in a value, and I'm trying to think, sure off the top of my, how many bigs have they drafted?
Keegan.
Who is 6'8"?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
He was
but
a big man in college,
sure.
I mean, and he's kind of using him now as a 4, but he might be a 3. But either way.
It really seems like
Kada, but that's, second rounder.
Second rounder.
That's like a project at the time.
Yeah,
not in the first round, right? I don't think so.
Is Olivia Maxence Prosper? No, that wasn't even ours. That was for Dallas.
Yeah.
That ended up being Colby Jones.
Yeah. Another guard. And I mean, there really seems is
shooting, versatility, I think is kind of where they lean.
Yeah.
It's a lean. And I have less of an issue with that as long as the other parts are addressed.
That's what I'm saying.
People will be mad if they draft another guard this year. I just get it. But I wouldn't, as long as you go, they're good on the front court. But they weren't.
Right.
And you don't have to draft that. If you we can debate whether they get the right players or not. That'll go on forever. But if you address the other things, I personally believe the draft is about getting the best players.
Yes.
You have to address the other stuff though via trades and deadline.
That's 100% correct. And I agree with you on BPA, best player available. And by the way, this franchise has run into a lot of problems in the past by not drafting the best player available. But I do think as a general manager, I think there's degrees of best player available.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between having a top 5 pick and you won 15 games. And I don't care who you have on the team. You identify the best player available. I do think that that philosophy should lessen a little bit if you're in contention. And then it's all right. We might look, yes, we're going to take into account best player available, but we're going to work that also against, okay, we may not have this guy rated as much as this guy, but does the difference mathematically in what we think our score is versus his fit?
Yeah.
Because you have, and then if you're contending for a championship team, then it's like, okay, we want fit unless the best player available is so far and away better that it's a no-brainer. Like Tyrese Halliburton, for example.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what and you're also thinking about when you're drafting a player, they're 18, 19, 20. Like, what are we talking about in 5 years and 8 years? So, example, like we always say on draft night, okay, people are going to give grades. Hey, King's got an A, King's got an F. All right. Is that right? Is that wrong? Well, wait, 5 years. So the draft that's so famous for the Kings and their misplay of taking Marvin Bagley. I was just talking about this with Kyle. We know everyone says they should have taken Luka, My question to you, Dave, is right now, who's better, Luka or Shea? Like going forward. Just that question right now.
You're asking me if I could take one or the other?
The fact that you're actually having to think about it is fine, is to my point. They were in the same draft.
Right.
So we always go, oh, they should have taken Luka. So now as you get further removed from it, you're like, what if they took Shea?
Yeah.
And then they would have been ripped for it. The Clippers obviously wouldn't have traded Shea for Paul George had they known. But this is what he became. And so you take longer to see how this all develops.
The amount of players they could have taken in that draft other than, I mean, I saw a graphic.
Like 8 of them.
I saw a graphic the other day that was like, this draft is an all-time draft. And when you also, I mean, really what it's shaping up to, if you had to compare, if you had to say what the Kings did, and we'll have to, this would be a summertime conversation, not a fun one, but the Sacramento Kings basically are the Detroit Pistons of the LeBron draft.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons took Darko Milicic, and you had that's in the draft that had Dwayne Wade, obviously LeBron James,
Bosh,
Chris Bosh. Thank you very much. I'm forgetting one other guy that was like 3. Oh, Carmelo Anthony. That's what the Bagley pick is looking like. In that those drafts are very comparable.
You've got Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson Jr., Trae Young, skip a few bad picks, Mikal Bridges, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Michael Porter Jr. all in the lottery.
And had it not been for a back injury, Vlade would have taken Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, they really liked him. Yeah.
Fact. And by the way, I'd have been fine with that in retrospect.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, had you taken Michael Porter Jr. over Marvin Bagley, he'd have gotten killed for it.
Yeah, because did he miss the first year?
I
believe he missed a bunch of time.
Yeah.
That'd have been a tough one to take, but you're like, yeah, it's a pretty good pick.
All right, we'll take a break. I don't like that conversation anymore. When we come, and by the way, as you have questions coming in,
submitting them.
We got a couple too. By the way, we're noting a lot of these. I like this one. Was the Minnesota 2031 pick worth more to you than the Kings pick back, as far as the pick swap in 30?
Yeah, and I think it's also important to like, were you truly either not interested in some of the Spur play, like were the Spurs unwilling to budge on a player, or,
right?
You know, I don't know how he'll answer that, but
here's one he probably won't answer. I love how we're like smashing him before he comes on. Poor Lonnie. If De'Aaron Fox and his agent had never even hinted at not just said, hey, we want to, was there a point where you decided, regardless of how De'Aaron felt about the max deal, signing it and or a destination, was there any point where you guys had internally decided that you were going to move on from De'Aaron Fox, or was it all about the contract?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I think the answer would be no, we would have signed him if he does answer it, but just curious how that goes. A lot of stuff we'll ask. We'll take a break. When we come back, Jason, with the trade deadline coming up tomorrow, let's take a look back. You have done the research, as always, the trade deadline history over the last few years and where we've been and what's happened. Don't forget Katie joining us in an hour as we hit the halftime of not only the show, but the week. We'll take a break. We'll hear Scott Fresh Hour somewhere in the return. We'll be right back.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Team night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
When I wake up
the best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel all right.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max used for adults only.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
The good news, you finally lost the excess weight and found the body you knew was hiding underneath it all along. The better news, InShape Fitness is here to help you maintain your new look and, dare we say it, enjoy the process. InShape has everything you need to build muscle and help keep the weight off. From fitness classes and personal trainers to swimming pools and saunas. Plus, plenty of full-length mirrors to admire your new self along the way. We are in shape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Toyota's President's Day sales event is on. Now's the time to save big on a brand new Toyota truck. Right now, get a low lease and $1,000 bonus cash on Tacoma, or get $2,000 cash back or low financing on Tundra. Every new Toyota includes Toyota Care, 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Get moving on these great deals. Don't miss Toyota's President's Day sales event. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Offers end 3/3/25.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are halfway through the week. Your week! So right now, I need every single listener on their feet. Callers, texters, YouTubers, make some noise for Sacramento's favorite sports morning show. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, and the man behind the glass, Chris Berlon.
That'd be funny. That actually would have been funny because Chris Berlon's not here.
Kyle, that better.
Kyle said in our ear, he almost edited it to change. That would have actually been funny. If it had just been his voice. And the man behind the glass. Oh, that better.
That is exactly what I was going to do. I just ran out of time and ideas.
We're happy to have Kyle and all of you with us halfway through the show, halfway through the week.
Your week.
Why not your week? Oh, because you have stuff?
That's what he says in the thing.
Oh.
Your week.
I mean, the Kings do play on Saturday, so it's
That's true.
not halfway for Jason.
1-800-912-1140. With thoughts on the trade deadline, we go to Mitch. Hi, Mitch.
Hey, how are you guys?
Hi.
I like lineup with the score, Smalls. But unless you get John Collins, I don't see him add to the bench guy. And these three guys are available. Matu, Bertrand, and Derek Favors. Can we bring them in?
Derek Favors?
Yeah, Derek Favors. He's still out there. He's playing the G League, believe it or not.
Wow.
I had not.
Same time as Marcus Cousins.
Yeah, same draft as Cousins.
Yeah. I had not contemplated Derek Favors. Maybe we put that on the list of questions to ask Monty this weekend or Monday.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah. Duly noted.
Honestly, I mean, John Wall, he's out there.
He is.
Derek Favors apparently with the Windy City Bulls.
He's got to be.
He already dealt with Chicago.
Can't
Did we forget?
Can't be that expensive.
Yeah.
The
good for him for still playing.
Oh, actually,
Mitch?
Derek Favors update. He's now on the Boston G League team as of a week
then
ago.
that's gonna, Brad Stevens is gonna
fleece.
Big trade for them.
Big trade for them. Jason, the trade deadline is nigh. And when we look back at the history, it's there's some ups and there's some downs.
Remember where you were last year when the Kings acquired Robin Lopez?
I do.
And then just waived him.
Had a great career. The Drew Gooden All-Stars.
I remember when
Jason Terry All-Stars. Sorry.
When he was acquired, I read that and went, wait, what? I read that as Brooke Lopez. Or that's what I saw. Robin. I saw Robin, but still in my mind went,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I did the same thing.
Because it was one that was actually like a minute or two after the deadline.
Yeah.
I went, wait, what did they get? Wait, what? Yeah, I was just trying to understand what happened.
Remember when he had the book at the
he was
Bucks
reading.
game after the trade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kings had him, waved him, and he was just sitting behind the bench reading the book.
It would have been a lot different with Brooke.
Yeah.
That would have been a much different deal. But if we go back, you went back as far as 2019. 2019, one of Vlade's better moves, I think. He doesn't get a lot of credit for this because we remember Vlade Divac as Luka Doncic. But trading Justin Jackson for Harrison Barnes, it's a pretty good move.
And Zach Randolph.
That's right.
But Zach didn't play again.
No. Alec Burks also, Caleb Swanigan. R.I.P. Caleb. But Harrison Barnes ended up being a steady, constant player.
Really good king.
And pretty much is why we have DeMar DeRozan today. Following year, Alex Len and Jabari Parker. I actually liked that at the time. Like
I was kind of intrigued by Jabari Parker.
Same
honestly,
here.
Then
Same here.
Knee problems.
Yeah, exactly. Because he, once upon a time, there was definitely a lot of potential there. Then the following year, this was a very interesting, underspoken group of moves. Mo Harkless, DeLon Wright, Terrence Davis, and Chris Silva. Silva didn't really do much with us.
I think that's Monty. Yes.
Was it Monty?
I believe so.
DeLon Wright wasn't Vlade. You might be
I
right.
could be wrong.
Yeah.
In my mind, I feel like it was Monty.
You're always right about this stuff. So
the next year's definitely Monty.
Next year's definitely Monty. Just stay on that year real quick. DeLon Wright coming over, adding some defensive help.
He's good.
He was. And then Terrence Davis really had some moments with this team. Weirdly, talk about a guy that didn't do anything after.
Yeah.
Which was really weird. I remember losing. I remember him not coming back and going, God, he's going to help somebody out. This is a guy that can score. Nothing.
Yeah.
The following year was it
was a big one.
No, it's a huge one and really what a way for Monty and co to establish their presence with authority, taking the first ever pick he made as a big boy GM, a pick that was universally hailed as the steal of the draft. Nobody could understand how Tyrese Halliburton fell to, was it 12th? 13th?
Yes.
12th. And he takes Tyrese Halliburton and friends and acquires DeMontis Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, Trey Lyle. Separate moves, of course, some of those in there, but just really completely remade and balanced the roster.
That's a roster overhaul.
That is, and we were in a different yet similar spot to where we are right now. You had a backcourt overload. You needed something in the front court, and in one fell swoop, he completely remade this roster and really balanced it out quite well. And again, when I look at the outgoings, including Tyrese Halliburton, because we look at that trade, Jason, we look at that year as Tyrese Halliburton to Domantas Sabonis. But I think, honestly, if we looked at all the outgoings and all the incomings, that even more cements that Monty improved the roster more than hurt the roster.
Yeah, I mean, you're also talking about Buddy Hield in there, Marvin Bagley in there. I mean, there was some lot of shifting of guys that had been here for a little bit and cleaned up some of the backcourt and completely changed the franchise, at least going forward, from the look that they just had.
And that was really, to me, the beginning of the upswing. I think their first game, why do I want to say the first games with Sabonis were, when was it back-to-back against Minnesota?
Minnesota was his first game.
Yeah. Remember that. That was the trade that shocked the world. It wasn't a Luka-esque trade, but nobody expected Tyrese Halliburton to go, including myself. That was when I said De'Aaron Fox had to go, and in part just going, one of them had to go. And I never in my right mind thought it would be Tyrese Halliburton, the guy that was sent. Dante DiVincenzo, we just mentioned, has done better since, but a good acquisition. Trey Lyles still contributing quite well, and that really began the Beam team ascension, if you will.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was like the other parts were DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, and Trey Lyles, and I felt like Trey was the throw-in.
Yeah, yes,
and he's the one that ended up having staying power And Josh Jackson, to me, I'm like, that's worth it. I don't know why it hasn't worked. He's picked a one spot ahead of De'Aaron. He's bounced around, but maybe here, and it just never materialized.
The last 2 years have really been much of nothing.
Nope.
2023, Kessler Edwards. 2024, the Robin Lopez move that you talked about. I mean, really just nothing.
Yeah. Which I know bothered a lot of people, but it's like, look, if there's not a trade, there's not a trade.
That's right. And we're being, and to be fair, we're talking purely deadline.
Yeah.
They did acquire DeMar DeRozan. And not at the deadline, but that was a trade that happened in the offseason involving, with the Harrison Barnes thing and all that.
Chris Duarte for 2 seconds.
That's right. So it really does.
And now Fox and Herter.
And now Fox and LaVine and Herter and all that. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's already this deadline. That's really, I think, safe to say, his second biggest move of his career other than Halliburton.
Yeah, and look, I don't need to defend Monty because I know there's a lot of people out there that say he never does anything.
That's not true.
And I think when that's as a blanket statement, I mean, just reading some of this, I mean, he's traded Halliburton, who turned into an all-star. He got an all-star back in Sabonis. He's now traded Fox for another all-star in LaVine. He got a DeRozan, who's an all-star and Hall of Fame. Like, there's been some major player traded Harrison Barnes.
That's
there's some significant people that have been dealt from this team.
I like that
and added.
I like that you put this together for a number of reasons, Jason. But I think one of them is, Monty's under a lot of strain, pressure, and heat right now. And I'm not saying it's not deserved.
Yeah, it's part of the job.
But here's a factual, inarguable statement: Monty McNair is the second best general manager this franchise has ever had. And by the way, the bar is not that high, and no offense to any other GMs.
Disrespecting Jerry Reynolds.
Jerry Reynolds is, for some reason, I know he was a GM, but he's everything. Yeah. Jerry's in his own category. Yeah. But other than Jeff Petrie, it's Monty.
Mm-hmm. And both have won the title for executive of the year.
That's 100% correct. Expectations, it's funny how expectations change reality. There was a time and place where we were so upset with Dave Yeager, and he basically got fired in part because we were so close to win to getting to 500.
Yeah.
All we wanted was that first season at 500 and so long, and then they ended up taking
40 wins and couldn't get that last one. Yeah.
And now 500 will be a disaster class. Right. You change expectations. Another undeniable fact: this roster is demonstrably better after this front office took over than before. It just is. You look at the starting five in the roster, the last year of Vlade Divac until now, It's been fantastic. And by the way, that's been with one for sure draft whiff in Davion Mitchell, an incomplete with the pick to get rid of Rashawn Holmes to Dallas, Tyrese Halliburton, and then we still don't know what Devin Carter is going to be. Am I missing a draft? And then Keegan Murray. So you look at the drafting. By the way, the drafting and developing of Keon Ellis. The fact that he acquired the greatest free agent this team has seen since Vlade Divac, and perhaps the greatest we've ever had. So I think it's important to grade Monty McNair and ask the tough questions and raise an eyebrow at some things that have been demonstrably bad. But let's not act either like we're dealing with Pete D'Alessandro, because we're not. Right. We'll take a break. When we come back, just a 1 minute break here, everybody. Let's look at the Kings and Magic tonight. We'll preview that. Before we get to 4 down territory, we still have a who's hot, who's not. We got to drop a 3 in the key, and then Katie will join us at 9. Your phone calls at 1-800-920-1140. Your text at 916-339-1140. Of course, we'll read your chats on the YouTube as well. Please like and subscribe. We're right back after this.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Team night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Is your garage door stuck in the winter blues? Well, February is the perfect time to give it some love. Jason Ross here to tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. And they're here to keep your garage door running smoothly. This February, they're spreading the love with their Sweetheart Special, $150 off a garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener. Now, the experts at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento provide fast, reliable service that's always on time and always done right. From squeaky hinges to full door replacements, they've got you covered. So don't let your garage door be the heartbreaker this season. Visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com for your free estimate. You can get in touch with them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, opening doors to your home and your hearts this February and all throughout the year. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
I was checking out the chat during the break. Spotlight on listener Lawless RBL.
Yeah.
I'll give you some of his comments or her comments. Just run through them. Have you guys been to the new coffee shop by the Golden One Center?
I have not.
Same here.
Cats sleep an average of 15 hours a day.
I believe it, but didn't know that.
I thought it was a little bit more.
Bats are the only flying mammals.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I'm afraid of bats, I guess.
Your brain is constantly eating itself.
What is it like?
Brain.
Knowledge.
What kind of food?
Brain. Interesting.
It doesn't eat lyrics or like commercial jingles.
No.
I remember those.
Remember those. From the 530, Monty McNair finally has a starting five that is entirely made up of his players. Yeah, Fox was the last one.
That before?
No, because
Fox. Yeah,
Fox.
You're right. Sorry.
They traded Fox.
Did they?
Yeah, a couple days
Who
ago.
is the oldest tenured king at this point? Or longest?
Is it Keegan?
Sabonis?
Now, Sabonis is older than Keegan, but...
No, well, Sabonis got here before Keegan.
Okay.
Yeah. Lyle's at the same time.
I think Sabonis was technically like the day before. Or a couple days before.
Is DeMontis Sabonis the...
Wait, are we forgetting somebody?
I am looking at the depth.
Monk?
No, Monk was the summer of 22.
Len's been starts and stops, right?
Yeah.
Or is it Len?
I think it might be Len.
Alex Len came over.
Yeah, I think start of 2021.
Wait, hold on. Did Alex Len Did Alex Len play for us, leave and come back?
Yeah.
I completely forgot that.
Yeah, but even on the comeback, when was it?
21-22.
So it was him. It was the beginning of the season?
We are looking this up.
Yeah. He was with the Wizards and Toronto, and he came back to start the year in 21-22.
Yeah, that's him, because Sabonis came in 22.
Yeah, Alex Len, first game with the Kings back was October 22nd, 2021, which was 4 months before the Sabonis trade. So Alex Len is the longest tenured Sacramento King.
We're not missing anyone else, are we?
That's what I'm looking at. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Because Lyles and Sabonis were at the same time, roughly.
Yep.
That's it.
It's not the Jones. It's not the Jones brothers, Colby, Isaac, and Mason.
No.
It's not Keon. It's not obviously Crowder or DeRozan or Crawford or.
Yeah. So by order, it's Len.
It Sissoko?
It's Len, Sabonis, Trey Lyles, Malik Monk.
Wow. That's where, when we said the other day, like people worrying about 2027, 2031 pick, I'm like, there will not be, I hate to say it, I just can't imagine a King or a Timberwolf that's still on that team in 2031, or a King that's still on this team.
Makes me so sad. There's only 4 members of the Beam team left.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, by the way. Is it 4? I thought we said there were 6. 6 off the training camp roster are still with the team, I think.
I guess Keon technically, yes, but he was kind of tweening.
Neon Keon.
Wow.
Or I guess 5 because you count Keegan also. I guess Keegan's technically been on the team longer than Malik, even though they're.
Don't forget about me.
Alex Len, Domantas Sabonis, and Trey Lyles are the longest tenured Kings. That is just crazy to think about.
Moves fast.
It really does. Doesn't it? Doesn't it move fast? Well, speaking of moving fast, the debut of Zach LaVine is upon us. Tonight, 7 p.m. is your tip-off right here on Sacktown Sports. We, of course, have all your live and local shows leading into pregame coverage, and then the tip-off there. First game back off a long road trip, Jason. We know that generally is is worrisome. I do wonder which will win, the blahs of the first game back versus the yays of, hey, new trade and new team and all that. I'm sure they're very happy to be home, and they've got a nice little home winning streak going as well.
Yeah, they've been playing great at home. They haven't lost, knock on wood, in 2025 at home. Won the final game of 2024 at home, and then have carried it over. So nice winning streak here. I would think it would be, I think there's going to be a really good energy in the building tonight.
Yeah.
Because of LaVine, and look, gosh, one more thought. Sorry, I got sidetracked on this longest tenured King. Has Alex Len played for 4 Kings coaches? Was he Walton, Gentry, Brown, and Christie?
Is that? Did he play for more than Walton and? Well, hold on, because he played 15 games for Sac in 19 and 20.
Well, I just mean in his tenure as being the longest tenured King. So since 21, right? Yeah.
So,
that's a Walton,
wow,
Gentry, Brown, Christie. Man.
And I think there's a little bit of a lesson to be learned there too. Part of it is how quickly, again, crediting Monty. If somebody on that, let me find this on the chat line, by the way, because I want to make sure it's from Adam. Late morning, just jumped on. Did I wake up to an alternate universe? Is Dave saying Monty has done a good job? Please tell me we're not letting him off the hook today during the press conference. No, there's multiple things that can be true, as we said during the segment. I think from 50,000 feet, Monty McNair has done a very good job. He's the second best GM we've ever had, and the roster is demonstrably better than when you took it over. Right. That doesn't mean that we can't criticize individual issues like front court lack of depth, the Fox trade in general, and all that. It's not. I'm not a big fan of absolutes. Mm-hmm. There are very few things in the world and life that are absolutes, that are black and white, and they generally involve body counts. I'm more into. I don't care how good he's been. We need to talk about the issues, or I don't care how bad he's been. Right. I think you have to be fair and also say, hey, look, this, and that. But it does speak to the tumultuous nature of this franchise when we're talking about Alex Len being the longest tenured King and also having played for 4 coaches. That is part of the reputation that is constantly being fought when they talk about basketball hell, if you will. So you got the Orlando Magic here tonight, Kings 7 in a row at home. What was that? Was that from the Book of Mormon?
No, that's that Orlando Magic song that they made in the 90s.
Do we have more of that song? Or
Oh, you want the whole song?
I don't want the whole
a little
song.
more.
I would just like. Do you have it from the beginning?
So when I didn't know you guys didn't know this lore. When the Orlando Magic were formed as a franchise,
Nope, just want the song.
They made this song.
There's a heartbeat pounding in the street. It's so fantastic, get out of control. You can feel the power under your feet. Abracadabra, razzmatazz, slam dunk sesame. Hocus pocus, alakazam, gonna set the spirit free.
What'd you stop it for? Talk about Orlando Magic. Okay.
You know what? I mean, Kyle says this song existed before, but it's new to me today. We have no chance.
We're screwed.
Yeah. Do you hear that song?
A couple of years ago, Orlando Magic fans begged the team to start playing it again.
They're right.
I would.
Yeah.
They're 100% right.
I want us to play it.
Yes, that is a funky song. I like it. Very 80s.
Very great.
Yeah.
1989.
God. I thought the 76ers had the best song.
That's a 1 seed.
Absolutely.
On team songs.
This song is 4 minutes long. They made an entire produced song out of it.
8.
I could see like a video with dancing.
Yeah.
There is.
A lot of neon.
Just a buttload of neon.
I'll show it to you. It exists.
The buttload of neon? How much would that screw with the Magic if we played that for our Kings Opens?
I don't know.
I think
get me up off my feet.
Yeah. Talking about.
I just want to see like updated, with Ben Caro and Wagner singing that.
Yeah.
Or lip syncing it.
Really? Where's that been? It's just the
energy stuff, the Magic Dragon.
Right. And the energy involved in that song is over the hill, over the top.
And hill.
Oh, Grant Hill, former Magic player.
Brian Hill, former coach.
Yeah. King of the Hill. Who are Anthony sounds like. Well, we don't have we have a theme song. Well, they do have a jingle. American Energy, Heating and Air. And they also have a legendary $49 tune-up for your furnace. Well, it's cold. It's cold right now. Get your furnace all tuned up so that it's working not just this winter, but next winter. And hey, listen. Listen up. Orlando Magic, if whether you're an Orlando Magic person or you can get yourself that tune-up for free if your furnace is 5 years or older. You need a repair? No problem. $50 off your first repair. If you need a new furnace, which we hope you do not, half off. Call 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. It's American Energy. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. Hey, when we come back, Katie at 9 o'clock, 4 down territory, we'll switch up to some football, including the Raiders question. I'll be right after this.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
You can finally follow through with that resolution to get into that Jeep, Ram, Dodge, or Chrysler you've always wanted at Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something, getting you the best deals in town with the best customer experience. See for yourself. They're centrally located right next to Hagan Oaks Golf Course.
This 49er injury report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Oh, Bobby C.
Bobby C. I just got to let you know.
Jason, you were gone for this day, but Dave was the one who informed me for the first time that Bobby C was in fact white.
Yeah, there's a whole, I told him, there's a whole reaction shot video of that.
Bobby Caldwell. R.I.P.
R.I.P. I think just in the last year.
Yeah.
Talking about. From the 916 question for Monty, can you make the uncomfortable comfortable? No, that's American Energy. Eating there. 4 down territory. Kyle Ledbetter starts right meow. Clank.
All right. First down, the Raiders have hired Chip Kelly to be their next offensive coordinator. What do you think of the Raiders' offseason moves in the coaching department?
Listen up, Raider fan. I love it. I think they're doing all the right things right now. This is exactly what I wanted to see. They've got themselves the exact right coach for where they're at as a franchise right now. They got themselves look, I don't know if he's going to be a good GM or not, but I love the move for a young, up-and-coming type of dude. Chip Kelly is kind of in the Norv Turner, Josh McDaniels, perhaps Cliff Kingsbury all-stars of guys that make phenomenal coordinators. Look at everywhere Chip Kelly's pretty much been as a coordinator. He's fantastic. I'm now curious to see what they will do. They also brought Greg Olson back as well. Hopefully he'll have a better quarterback to work with this time around. I like this. These are the hallmarks of a team that is starting from basic scratch and is building accordingly. And Jason, as you know, in the NFL, it doesn't take that long if you're doing the right things. Really curious to see what they do in the draft. Really curious to see what they do and how they spend, if they spend that cap money. But I have absolutely no negatives. A plus so far.
Yeah, and the coaching department, the foundation you're talking about, they're building it. They're doing a good job. I think they really have. NFL success isn't always on this, but more times than not, it's general manager, coach, quarterback. General manager still to be seen. Pete Carroll's been very successful. I think he'll be good. Quarterback's the really important part. They haven't established that today, but that's the next piece. And I think the foundation is here. They obviously have to get more talent as players, but their offseason in the coaching area, good job.
Second down.
Myles Garrett has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Is there a reason why the 49ers shouldn't be interested?
Okay, it's just me. Did you read that weird? Were you singing it? You just had a weird cadence. I'm not saying it's bad.
He still has the Orlando Magic song.
Is that what it is? Look, I'm a Niners fan. Would I like Myles Garrett? Yeah, of course I would.
What's it going to cost?
That's exactly right. What is the cost and how prohibitive is it? Now, I'll tell you what I wouldn't. I'll tell you what I'd look at. Let me think about this before I say this. I might ask the Cleveland Browns what else they'd give me if Nick Bosa was coming their way.
Oh, flip him out?
Flip him out.
Because
Myles Garrett's money is far, far better right now, number one. And number two, I like Nick Bosa. I love Nick Bosa when he's on, but also Nick, not the most durable guy. And also, and you kind of hear whispers of this, and when you watch film, Nick's also kind of an all or nothing dude, man. He's either sacking the quarterback or to give him credit, taking a double team away from somebody else, which is important. But if you're asking me, would I rather have Myles Garrett or Nick Bosa? I'd rather have Myles Garrett. Yeah. Sorry. If Nick Bosa's younger, I'd still rather have Myles. And
that's interesting, though. I didn't think about the flip out.
No, that's
swapping them.
That's the thing. I mean, yeah, I'd like them to team up together. And hey, if we can give them a 4th round pick, hey, yeah, great. But that's not what's going to happen. Cleveland's got to maximize their deal. But I think that'd be an interesting concept to look at.
Yeah, I think the Niners, every team should be interested. Sure. It's really what's the asking price. But yeah, Garrett's a tremendous player. Good for him. You know, he wants to see what the rest of his career has in store for him somewhere else. Tough spot for the Browns. But yeah, the Niners should be interested.
Third down. Monday night. Stupid.
Monday night was the opening night of the Super Bowl, also known as Media Day.
Okay, relax. Read it normal, please.
Next year, the Super Bowl is in Santa Clara.
That's not reading it normal. Please read it normal.
Next year, the Super Bowl is in Santa Clara.
Oh, Christ.
Any interest in being part of that event?
I mean, we will be. I'd be more interested if the Niners weren't involved in it.
Yeah. I don't really like media. Like what we did last time, remember we were all there doing the shows? Like we had guests and we did Radio Row. That was all great. But like the circus of that night.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I completely misunderstood the question.
You were distracted by the reading.
I really was. Oh, you're talking about that event, not media, not Radio Row and the whole thing.
Oh, the one they're going to do at San Jose Stadium.
Oh, totally. Oh, in that case,
you would just do goofy questions the whole time, which other people do too.
I would. I guess I am as interested in being involved in that as I would be probably getting a colonoscopy live on YouTube. And we've covered a lot of Super Bowl meetings.
If it gets subscribes and clicks.
That's what I'm saying. Please hit like.
So you're saying very interesting.
No, God, no. And we've covered plenty of Super Bowls. I've never gone to, I have absolutely no, it's just.
How'd that get in there?
So, yeah, it's just so, I don't know. It's just, you want to talk about the
circus.
Ultimate look at me moment. Like, I'm good, dude. Like, go do your
Everybody's
thing.
there.
Someone's going to be in a G-string and not sure who.
Well,
Someone's
colonoscopy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, no, that whole. Yeah, I'll watch the highlights.
I'll pass.
So would I. Fourth down.
Fourth down. Cliff Kingsbury elected to stay as in DC as the OC for the Commanders instead of pursuing the Saints job.
And they kept it on the QT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that an indictment of the Saints or praise for Jaden Daniels and the Commandos?
I hate doing this, especially with Katie coming on in 20 minutes, but yeah, I'm going to say it's both. I really do think both. I know it's such a wussy answer, but I do think that the overall thought process, I think part of it is we're really building something special here. I really, really like where we're going. I'm speaking as Cliff Kingsbury now. I'm a hot commodity.
Right.
It's not going to get any, you would think it's not only going to get better next year. Also, the Saints are just saintsy. Like,
yeah. Well, it probably is both because there'll probably be a better job next year.
That's exactly right. I'll wait it out another year. We'll hopefully, he's gambling a little bit, but we'll do even better. And then maybe I get myself a nice big, maybe I'll be the next Cowboys coach when they fire him. Just saying. Yeah. I think it's a little bit of both because the Saints are just poor Gail Benson. Yeah, they're rudderless. So are the Pelicans. New Orleans Major League Sports is just not. Gail, look,
they're good at hosting the Super Bowl.
100%. That's exactly right. And Gail's late husband Tom was for a while there a really, really good owner. And I don't know if Gail's just not interested, doesn't know what she's doing, is being surrounded by people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. But if I'm a New Orleans sports fan, and I am kind of weirdly, I love the city, I would really hope that Gail, who by all accounts is it's a really nice family and they do a lot of great things and they've been through a lot of crap, go collect a nice $6, $7, $8, $10 billion by selling both those quads in their entirety and let some serious ownership come in, because right now both of those teams are kind of rudderless up top.
And enjoy Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Like Shad Khan, for example. Did you see that Ravel video yesterday?
No.
Shad Khan's yacht, which has an indoor basketball court, a pickleball court, 4 bars, an indoor pool, all kinds of stuff, has pulled up to the docks in New Orleans for Super Bowl weekend, or week, should I say. You want to take a guess as to what the yacht's worth? I know, right?
$1 billion. I have no idea.
$350 million yacht. I want one.
That's his vacation yacht. That's not his number one.
It's not his number one yacht. It sleeps 12 with a crew of 37. So technically it sleeps 49, but 12 guests, 37 crew members. Can you even imagine?
No.
What a Super Bowl party, though.
Absolutely.
Right?
A little small.
I only know 12 people anyways. We'll take a break when we come back. Who's hot, who's not? 3 in the key as well. We'll get that out of the way tonight for Kings and Magic and more before we get to Katie at 9 next.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Hey, it's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and the regular season is over, but the high hand bonuses, those are not. $500 per primetime football game, whether it's weekend, Monday night, whatever it may be. And those bonuses available until the season ends, including the big game on February 9th. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Discover unbeatable value at Folsom Buick GMC this President's Day. Drive with assurance and our 20-year, 200,000-mile powertrain warranty. Enjoy $10,000 off all 2024 Hummer EVs, plus 0% APR for 60 months for qualified buyers. Lease the 2025 Hummer EV for just $818 per month. These offers end March 3rd, 2025. Visit Folsom Buick GMC today, your EV headquarters for power, performance, and savings. Select units and check dealer for details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Fall head over boots in love with music this Valentine's Day. Get ready for Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, returning May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, and more. Enjoy food trucks, mechanical bulls, and line dancing. Tickets start at just $52. Visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club. Don't just say, I love you. Show it with music. Buy tickets now.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy with $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must own 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
It's hot.
Who's hot?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That would be Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Sacramento. Zach LaVine.
Sacramento Labeemathy.
Yes. So this season, Zach LaVine is having a bit of a career revival. He's averaging 51.1% from the field shooting.
Yeah.
That's a career high.
Pretty good.
44.6% from three. That's a career high, while shooting the most three-point attempts per game since his 2021 All-Star season. He had the highest true shooting percentage on the Bulls, and it's the third highest on the Sacramento Kings, behind only Domantas Sabonis, who's first in the league, and Keon Ellis.
Oh, hey. Nice, Keon. That's hot.
We have breaking news from Shams Charania.
Uh-oh.
The Boston Celtics. I didn't see this one coming.
When it breaks.
The Boston Celtics are trading Jaden Springer and their 2030 second round pick to the Houston Rockets. Both teams are also exchanging heavily protected second rounders. Heavily protected second round. This is already protected. It's in the second round.
2032?
2030, not 2032, 2030 second round pick along with Jaden Springer. No relation to Jerry. Well, maybe. I don't know.
You don't know.
To the Houston Rockets.
Speaking of heavily protected picks, I saw the Kings technically have like the Bulls second rounder, but it's like top 55 protected this year.
So stupid.
But if it's 56, it's ours.
Yeah, ours, said the Pirates. All right, well, Jason, we'll move on to who's not in a second, but what does this mean for LeBron James's legacy?
Actually, it does really hurt him.
Yeah.
Jordan's the GOAT. Sorry.
Yeah.
This trade.
That ends the conversation, I think, right there. All right.
We've done it.
Well,
Crack the code.
Other than LeBron James, who's not hot?
Who's not? That would be the... Yeah, the Orlando Magic, they're not hot.
Yeah.
This is sounding jinxy.
More like the Snorlando Magic, and it does sound jinxy, so you better relax.
All right.
Just the facts, ma'am.
All right, just the facts. Orlando Magic since January 10th, which is when Paolo Banchero returned from injury.
They call him Paolo Banchero.
They are 29th in offensive rating. Only team worse is the Wizards. 19th in defensive rating. 29th in net rating. The only team worse, the Wizards.
Ugh.
So it's not been good. They're 2-10 with Paolo Banchero, and they're 1-5 with Franz Wagner.
Anyone want to bet me that at some point? And by the way, I'll give you a preview of my 3 in the key in a second. No, I'll see.
Okay.
That's next. Hey. All right, 3 in the key right now, please. Screedy-doo, Kings and Magic tonight at Golden One Center. Debut of Zach LaVine. That's all I got.
Okay, pretty good.
Yeah, because I tried to do more yesterday and I stumbled.
Yeah, that you started strong.
I started strong and then faded out.
All right, Dave and Kyle and me, here we go. We are asking, first question in 3 in the key, Zach LaVine's first points. How do they come? Is it a dunk? Is it a 3? Is it a jumper? Is it a layup? Is it a free throw?
I'm going to say it's a backdoor layup. Well, cutter. Along the
Backdoor
baseline.
layup.
Yep.
I have him for a mid-range jumper.
Wow, that's DeMar DeRozan's territory.
I know, but he's like, you know what, friend?
Yeah.
I saw you do this. I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
A 3-pointer from the half-court logo.
Huh.
Because why the quarter?
Why not? Why would that not be his first point?
Now he's just going to pull up.
Just going to pull up from
off the
half court.
opening tip. He's going to win the tip and pull up from 35 feet and bury it.
Hello, Kings fans.
What a great open that would be.
That'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be amazing. Just jump ball, tips to Zach LaVine.
Launch.
And he moves his gigantic cojones out of the way while pulling up from the logo and burying it.
What? That wasn't the play?
What if all of that happened exactly the same way, but instead of making it, he missed and it hit Slamson and knocked him unconscious?
When we brought Royale in?
And then Royale had to come into the Rocky music. Would we rethink the trade at that point?
Yeah.
I think so.
That was a little unrealistic, so my second option is he's going to do the 360 windmill dunk he practiced.
I'm fine with either one of those.
What gets a bigger pop? The 360 windmill dunk or logo 3?
I honestly kind of think, weirdly, I'm going to say logo 3 in that situation.
Yeah.
If it's jump ball, first game, Gold One Center, and that fool pulls up from midcourt.
Tip catch 3.
3. That I think
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, the weird thing is, it wouldn't get the most pop possible because not everybody's seated. And also, I don't think they wouldn't have done their popping calisthenics yet. They're not ready.
That's true. They're not
It'll catch everybody by surprise. It would be very similar. It'd be
some
a pop.
injuries?
Huh?
Some
yes,
injuries.
perhaps, because they're not warm. Yeah. And I think it would be a combination of a pop and also the sound the crowd made in Oakland when Vince Carter did that hanging arm dunk, where people just be like, "What the hell?
Yeah.
Am I on mescaline? What just happened?"
So pop and circumstance.
Pop and circumstance. Very good.
All right, next up, we're actually going to ask about Zach LaVine's overall stat line. We're looking for points, rebounds, assists tonight.
Just to be clear, when you say Zach LaVine's overall stat line, are you talking about is he going to actually wear overalls?
Doesn't he? I've seen him.
What an amazing NBA uniform that would be.
And the logo 3 and a 360 windmill
all of
dunk.
that. The Kings, brought to you by Oshkosh Bagosh.
Yes.
You said points, rebounds, assists?
For Zach LaVine.
All right, give me 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Okay, we're very close. I have 20 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. Kyle?
I'll go 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Okay, I have an additional one tonight. So it's 4 in the key. We're in there way too long. Refs didn't catch us.
Refs were distracted by a bumblebee.
We are throwing in Fox and Herder points in their debuts.
Combined or each?
Fox by himself and Herder by himself.
18 points for Fox, 12 for Herder.
I have 23 Fox, 14 Herder.
I will go 25 Fox and 2 Herder.
Okay, and then the random stat.
So this goes back to what I almost, because with everything Kyle said about who's not, this and that, whatever, here's your random stat. At some point tonight, the Orlando Magic will have a double-digit lead. Not saying they're winning. I'm saying at some point tonight, they'll have a double-digit lead, and there will be murmurings.
Ooh,
yeah.
What's going on? Oh, they're murmuring.
Yeah,
I have that Kings will have 4 20-point scorers tonight.
I'll take that. I'll buy that for $1.
Okay. I'll sell it. Kyle?
At some point tonight, there's going to be either DeMar DeRozan or Malik Monk alley-oop dunk to Zach LaVine.
I would like that a lot. Okay. From the 916, I am not even remotely interested in LaVine. Still feel like we are the Bulls West. Well, let me tell you, whether it's going to work out or not, or whether I am incredibly interested in Zach LaVine as a Kings fan. I need to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
I am obsessed with it. I have butterflies.
Yeah.
It's not like we just acquired Bill Johnson. We got Zach LaVine. Let's see how he does.
Right.
Did the Timberwolves pretty much suck while he was there too?
Oh gosh, well, honestly, I remember until recently, remember the Kings had the longest playoff drought?
Yeah.
Minnesota had the worst record in that.
Is this the best team Zach LaVine's ever played on? Talent-wise?
I mean, the Bulls they were the 1 seed for half a season with Zach LaVine and DeRozan.
What if Zach LaVine wins the MVP next year? Do we win the trade?
What if the finalists are LaVine and Fox?
Your 3 finalists, or your 4 finalists, Zach LaVine, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and Tyrese Halliburton.
And Kevin Herter.
Yeah. And Luka Doncic.
Yes. And Jokic is averaging a quadruple double, but there's fatigue.
Nobody,
he's not
right?
very good.
Not at all. And and Jordan McLaughlin.
Yes.
Would that be the worst if Jordan McLaughlin? Remember we were saying earlier, which would be worse, Fox or Herter making an All-Star team? What if Jordan McLaughlin made an All-Star team? No disrespect, I'm just saying that'd be insane.
To answer your question, Jason, Zach LaVine's 3 seasons with the Wolves: 15-62, 23-53, and then he got hurt 16-31.
This is the best team he's ever been on.
Yeah.
60-146.
Either that or he's a cancer. Every team he's been on, and we're screwed. I don't buy that one.
I don't either.
We'll take a break. Katie Christensen will join us next. She's the TV analyst for the Sacramento Kings. She'll have been doing all kinds of Zach LaVining research, and we'll ask her about that, and also how it feels to be home for a minute, and so much more.
Yeah. And Monty in the next hour.
And Monty at 9:30. So Katie Christensen next.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Toyota's President's Day sales event is on now. Save big before it's too late on Toyota's unbeatable hybrid lineup. Right now is the time to get big savings on 16 Toyota hybrid models from the longest-lasting brand on the road. Every new Toyota includes Toyota Care, 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Don't miss Toyota's President's Day sales event at your Toyota dealer. Hurry in today.
Give me only what I need.
Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends over at Jiffy Lube, and they want to show some customer love this month with their February oil change deals. You can find online today. Visit jiffylube.com and find a service center near you to see these sweetheart deals. Get it? During the month of February. Here's what you do. Drive into savings at jiffylube.com today and let yourself save in the month of February. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross. Al Ledbetter in for Christopher Lod. Are we good to go? We're good to go. Joining us right now, just days after returning home. She hasn't been home that long. Yeah. Here we go. Right back. It was a long trip. Katie Christensen joins us. Good morning, Katie.
Oh, good morning, guys.
How you doing?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Hey, can I speak to you in code real quick and say something that I probably should have texted you or said to
That's
you?
probably great to do on radio
I'll
with
just
a bunch of people listening.
It'll be in code. You'll know what I'm talking about, okay? Hey, that thing that you talked about on your social media that's coming up, am I okay to talk about that yet or no?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, 100%. I thought so. That's why I'm bringing it up. I thought so. So we're going to hold on to this for a minute.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, get ready because Katie has said on this very show, and she said it on when we used to be radio partners, that one of her dreams is to someday be a member of the cast of Survivor,
right?
Long-running reality show on what is it, CBS? I think, yeah. Well, her dreams have sort of come true in the sense that Katie will not be a member, but her husband will be debuting. It is Survivor Fiji, I believe. Is that February 26th, Katie?
Yes, February 26th.
Look at me.
Yes, season 48. Crazy, right?
Wow. Crazy. And Katie, I'm not sure if you know or not, but just for fun, how long did he last?
and all the details.
And give us all the details of the finale if you know, please.
Because I'm sure that's allowed.
It's totally allowed. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
No NDAs or anything.
I will say it was a great experience for him, and we're very, very excited for it to premiere. And you're right. Like I've applied multiple times, and he applied one time, and they're like, "Yeah, let's get the firefighter from Sacramento." It was awesome.
Yeah.
So is your dream done? Are you still applying or what?
I will apply again. That's the thing. Like I hadn't applied for a few years. If you watch the show, I mean, a lot of the people apply like 10 or more times to get on. So it's like, you got to be persistent. So
here's
my schedule, it works out really well. So it films in the summer and Who knows? Maybe one day they'll have the geriatric version of myself on there.
Here's an angle. Yeah, if they have like Survivor the later years.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
no, she said it.
Like Golden Survivor.
Right,
Yeah.
yes, like your favorite show of all time is Golden Girls.
Yes.
What about this? I don't know. I haven't watched Survivor since probably the first 2 or 3 seasons, but I wonder if a husband and wife have ever been separate contestants on Survivor. Maybe that's your angle.
Gimmick.
Yeah, they definitely have. Boston Rob met his wife on the show,
Boston
Amber,
Rob,
and
yeah.
she won the show. And they've played against each other. They've had like a mom and a daughter. They've had a lot of different versions through the years.
Okay.
So this one's going to be really, really exciting. It's a really cool cast, and well, I'll just say we're excited for it to come out.
All right, last question. Oh, go ahead, Jason.
I was just thinking, I mean, can we go to the why? Why has this been obviously I think you would do very well, but like, why do you want to even take this on at some point?
For me, I think it started, the first time I applied was like 2011 or 12 maybe. I think it was just kind of post-career, and I'm really competitive, and I'm like, I can do that, I don't know, and I think it's kind of been my show forever. I've watched it forever. And Joseph and I have watched it, together for a long time now too. And so it's just, I don't know. I'm obsessed with it. I really, really want to do it. It's changed a lot over the years though. It's changed a lot. It's definitely more of a social game than anything else. I think that would be challenging for me.
We'll obviously update and have fun with this while it's going. We'll have a lot of questions about it during the whole process. But my last thing is, have you guys had a conversation about because it's not like Fiji's a crappy place to go. Have you guys had a conversation about someday soon vacationing there and then like having him show you like, oh, well, this is where I ate the fish balls or whatever? Well,
they've been filming in Survivor now for a lot of years. They used to change locations, but for multiple reasons, they've stuck with Fiji. It's got, I think, 350 different islands. So they work really well with the government there, and they have a whole reclamation project. They're very good at keeping the island intact. So where they're filming on the different islands they film, they're not tourist spots. So I don't think I'll ever get to see it unless I actually get chosen to be on the show. So,
So Katie, we just talked about how long this trip, you were on it. How long did that feel because of the games, the way the team played, the drama, then actually the fulfillment of a trade like that? You kind of experienced a little bit of everything on that near 2-week journey.
Yeah. I mean, that's the longest time I've ever been gone on a trip. That's our longest trip since I've been traveling. And that's like 2013 is when I started traveling. So it was brutal. I mean, it was a brutal trip in a lot of ways. It was weird. We were in New York for like 5 days. We were in Philly for 3 days. You don't really have that happen much on the road. But then for it to fall at the time with all the trade buzz going on, that it just adds another level of brutality to a trip that's already really challenging. So it was really nice for them to get the win. Kind of coming off of the De'Aaron Fox trade. That was a lot mentally, I think, for everyone to go through. And listen, it's not over. We don't know if there's going to be any other moves or anything like that. So, tonight is the last game where they've got to kind of be dealing with that. And then hopefully, you know who you're going forward with the rest of the season, and hopefully they'll be able to make a run.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a question and a follow-up, and you'll know where I'm going. Let's start first. What is going to be the most difficult thing for the Kings to replace when it comes to losing De'Aaron Fox?
Well, I mean, Zach LaVine is obviously a really brilliant offensive player, and in a different way. And I think it solidifies Malik Monk in more of a, ball handling, and his role is more clear cut now. I think the biggest thing they're going to miss is his defense, honestly, and Zach LaVine is going to draw attention from top defenders the same way De'Aaron did. He's got a different size than De'Aaron had. So, I think if I had to pick like a clear cut thing, probably his ability to play both sides of the ball is going to be a big one. Luckily, DeMar is a, brilliant fourth quarter clutch guy, which De'Aaron Fox is one of the best and has been, over the last few years. And so, luckily, and we saw it in that Minnesota game where DeMar kind of took over and stepped in there. But, in ways they're going to miss that as well.
Okay. And then the follow-up, because I know you, and you've probably, not that you didn't know who Zach LaVine was, but you've taken a big dive into the Zach LaVine swimming pool over the last 24 to 48. What, in your opinion?
I haven't. I'm very familiar with him. We just played Boston. We just played Chicago, and I had already done a deep dive into. He's got phenomenal numbers this year, and he's been healthy. And so, I haven't had to take a deep dive because I'd already done that, recently. So that's exciting. That what he brings for sure.
So I was going to say, what is it on the this is a follow up here on the De'Aaron thing. What is it in your opinion Zach brings that De'Aaron either that is better than De'Aaron, that is something De'Aaron wasn't a strength to his? Same type of question, just inverts towards Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I think his 3-point shooting right now. I mean, De'Aaron shot the three really well last season. He started out the year with a finger injury, and I think that truly has impacted his shooting numbers throughout the year, and it's gotten worse each month as he's dealing with a number of those things. So his 3-point numbers were really, really down. Zach LaVine's numbers this year are phenomenal. And if you look at I believe the last 5 years, 4 of the years he shot like 40% or better. And if memory serves, he's shooting around 35% from deep, and he's a volume 3-point shooter. So it's not like he's a guy that takes, 2 or 3 a game and is shooting 45%. Like that level, his ability to score above the rim. We all know about his athleticism, getting into the paint, the mid-range game, and his 3-point shooting. I mean, he really gives you a lot of the things that De'Aaron gave you, but he gives you a much more consistent 3-point shooter. And we know that this team has truly struggled in that department this season. So I think that's going to be a big difference.
Katie, the last game specifically, the way Keegan Murray came out was just incredible, so noticeable. And I think over the last 10 or so, he's been way more aggressive at getting to the basket, getting some, back cuts and some dunks, and even taking some smaller players to the basket. I like the evolution of his game. Do you think that's something, I think there's a few more shots to be out there. I'm sure Zach's going to get a bunch of those too, but how do you think this might help Keegan, who I know very publicly has come out and said De'Aaron was, one of his best friends here in Sacramento, but it's his first big trade. How do you think Keegan's kind of impacted by this?
Well, we saw in the game against Minnesota, obviously, without De'Aaron and without Zach LaVine available yet. He came out aggressive. He had 17 of his 19 in the first quarter and was phenomenal. I mean, he was scoring everywhere. And I think that, that level of aggression is something that we've all wanted to see on a more consistent basis from Keegan. And then he kind of, just kind of disappeared within the offense the rest of the way. He played all 12 in the first quarter. And then when he came out in the second, other people got it going, which is great. You want a lot of variance in your offense and who you're going to. And at different points in that game in Minnesota, everyone was really impactful, or multiple guys, I should say, were impactful offensively. I think the challenge for Keegan is just the mindset to hunt shots a little bit more. Because if you don't in this offense, because it really is very free flowing, you can just disappear. And so I think the biggest challenge for Keegan is just to be more aggressive, kind of looking for his shots. Sometimes that comes from the coaches calling a play for him out of a timeout or something like that. But, now with Zach LaVine available, he takes up a lot of the offense as well. So it's still the same question now with Zach there. Like, how can you get Keegan involved a little bit more? I will say what I absolutely love about his game that we've seen this year. And each season it's kind of been a little different. Like at the end of his rookie year, there was like a couple plays where he put it on the floor and he had a mid-range jumper. And we're like, oh, didn't know he had that. Didn't know he could handle the ball. And then last season we saw it much more. But this year we're seeing it in a different way because now he's getting all the way to the rim and he's finishing with like baby hooks, floaters, those kind of things, which is a great thing for him with his size to be able to add, because even though his 3-point shoots, it's a touch that you have to, continue to work on, continue to build, and he'll get more comfortable and more effective with that. So I really, really like what we're seeing. And there was a game on this road trip, I don't remember which one because they really ran together, where he had like 5 dunks. And it's like, okay, Keegan, like I love that version of him.
Last thing for you, Katie, non-Kings related. Where were you and what was your initial reaction when you heard Luka Doncic was traded?
Oh my gosh, this is really funny. Actually, it was on our flight to from Oklahoma City to Minnesota, and I'm really good at passing out on the plane. Like before we even take off, I will be asleep, and I've got my fuzzy blanket that I bring on the plane, and I was just bundled up and knocked out. And we touched down, and I woke up, and everybody was staring at me. Everybody in the back, and they were like just waiting for me to wake up because it broke while we were, on the flight. And Kyle Draper showed it to me, and everyone's like, oh my God, Katie, like, and I was like, this can't be real. I was like still groggy, hadn't fully woken up, and I was like, no, you guys are messing with me, right? And I had to look it up and verify myself. It was pretty funny, but wild. I mean, just wild in so many facets, right? I still don't fully understand it. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what that looks like. Luckily we're done playing the Lakers. But we still have, we haven't seen Dallas yet. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, my follow-up, because I knew that it broke while you guys were on the flight, my follow-up was going to be, how was everybody's reaction amongst, everybody talking about it?
She was
but
sleeping
she had
through
her freaking bunny slippers on. I'm so jealous you can sleep on a plane, dude. That's awesome.
No, it was crazy. Everyone was still processing it, and it happened like an hour before, right? And I guess I am not a contract person. I don't understand contracts as well. We don't really have to dive into that on my side of things. So I've never really, taken the time to really deep dive and understand all that stuff. But everyone's like, Katie, like, how much money is Luka going to lose? And I was like, I don't know. I'm sure it will come out, but I was like, I'm guessing it's going to be between 100 and 125 million, based on not signing that Supermax. And I was right. It came out 117 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty wild.
Did you really know that, or is that one of those things like when we watched Jeopardy before and you're like, I was going to say that?
No, I had remembered from past things, and the first thing I thought of was when DeMarcus Cousins got traded and all of that, and I know that was years ago, and TV money has changed salaries quite a bit, and it just continues to go up. But I knew that Luka was qualified for like what would have been the biggest contract in the NBA when he, upped his thing, 5 years at $345 million, I think. So yeah, I was vaguely aware, so I had an idea, but of course, like I was like, I don't know how to do this math. I don't know where to find this answer. Someone will figure it out. Yeah.
That's Katie Christensen, the analyst and voice of your Sacramento Kings. See her in action tonight when the Kings take on the Magic in the first night of the Zach LaVine era. Sorry your husband's living your dreams. Good job being supportive of it all, and we'll talk to you next week.
Oh my gosh, of course you would say something like that.
What? I was complimenting you. I think it's amazing how supportive and not jealous you are.
Aggressive compliment.
No, yeah. It was aggressive. We'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye, Katie. Aggressive. It is hilarious. It's like, been holding that news in for a while, but it is hilarious. She's wanted to be on that show forever. And like, I don't want her to go on the show. I've told her, like, we've argued. I'm like, no, please don't do that, because they're mean and weird. And then there's weird people online, and they feel like, yeah, exactly. And like, you're going to be this whole thing, and just please don't. And she's like, slaps me and says, shut up. And I'll do what I want, and then I shut up. But now her husband's going to go through it, and that'll be fun to keep track.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
Imagine a incredibly good-looking fire captain, former UCLA football player. I mean, gee golly, that's right. UCLA.
Hope he does well.
Yeah, you're rooting for him. You can wear your Bruins
absolutely.
gear. Absolutely. All right, we'll take a late break here. When we come back, what to watch. We got standings watching. Guys, we're 12 minutes-ish, depending on how early or late. Well, they won't be early. Just in case you're wondering, or you just joined us, Monty McNair is scheduled to have a press conference at 9:30. We will carry that press conference in its entirety Once he gets to the podium, we will be listening. That'd be weird. What? Oh, did I say something? Oh, sorry. Well, I thought maybe I said something wrong. We will have all that coverage for you. So we'll take a break. So we're all ready to come back. By the way, on the air, let me do this real quick. Kyle, should we combine these? You want to go to? No, I'm saying, should we combine this in the next break so that we just go straight into Monty? What do you want to do? Because we're not going to know when he's coming on. That's my question. I know we should be doing this on the air.
Yeah, production meeting on the air.
Yeah.
Do we want to knock out the birthdays now?
Well,
no, not even that. Just are you saying this break and the next?
Yeah,
break?
I'm saying this is a very quick break. Do we want to do that and then do a quick segment, come back, do that 3-minute, or do we want to just take a combined break right now and go all the way? We can come back and do celebrity birthdays and whatever, and then just go right into
Yeah,
Monty.
I like that. We'll do that.
Okay, ready, set, break. We're right back after this.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Tonight, Kings and Magic. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Celebrate Lunar New Year every week in February during the $800,000 Lucky Red Envelope drawing at Sky River Casino. Earn entries daily just by playing your favorite slots and table games with your rewards card. Plus, swipe at our promotional kiosk for a free daily entry. On select Sundays and Fridays, earn 100 bonus entries when you hit 100 tier credits. Join us every Saturday night in February, where every red envelope could be your ticket to $25,000 cash. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leases, and other offers. Must own 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, EasyCater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at EasyCater.com.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experience.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton.
Twitter.
I logged out.
Anyways, De'Aaron Fox, they're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting to hear before we get to Monty, since we have a little bit of time. Made his first big public comment since. Nothing earth shattering here. And apologies, some of it's a little, they're practicing. So a little tough to hear, but we'll do our best. Here's De'Aaron Fox talking to the media on the baseline in Atlanta.
Primary destination or preferred destination? I mean, I think with the way that they're built, with the athleticism, with the length that they have, and also, I mean, the youth. I just felt like this could be a special team, and what Mike always talked about when I was with him was to when you have to be able to play defense. And even the year that we had the best offense in the league, I think we ended up being like 23rd, 24th defensively, and then you get to the playoffs and you really feel that. So I think with the intangibles that everybody here has, I think this could be a really good defensive team, and obviously you have someone very special back there. A big part of that youth is Wendy. Just your thoughts on playing with him. I mean, it's a very unique opportunity. Not many guys come around like that. Not just him, but everybody else. I felt like the fit would be spectacular, and I feel like I have a lot of years left to play. And some people say you kind of expedited that process. But you look at a team like OKC, where outside of Shea and I think outside of AC, everybody else is pretty much on a rookie contract. So I feel like we can do something good.
That's De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
First comments in there, getting a little understanding of what, when, where, and why. But he's a Spur now.
Yes.
And we apologize for the audio. It's the audio that's out there.
Yeah, stop practicing.
About 4 minutes until Monty McNair is scheduled to visit with the media. This will be from what we understand, a Monty only press conference.
Yeah, Levine's is later today.
Levine's will be later today, so it will be very interesting as to what he has to say. And of course, couple housekeeping notes here. Keep it locked into Sacktown Sports throughout the day, as not only do you get the shows and analysis, but also both Monty press conferences. Also, as tomorrow is the trade deadline, we expect there to be some fast-moving things, including possibly, although I would expect, this I'm guessing on, but I think it's very possible that the Kings may already have a deal or two worked out and may just wait until post game or tomorrow morning to announce. If they were to look, if it has to happen, it has to happen. But one thing is that if they make moves today and it involves a player or multiple players, those players obviously won't be available tonight. And a lot of times you'll see that happen. Let them play one more game, and then shockingly after the game or the next morning it gets announced and everybody goes and takes their physicals.
Yeah, it's always the weird thing. This has happened before. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a couple years ago, Dave, like their guys are going through the layup line, and one of the things I'm like, wait, where's Corey Joseph?
Yeah.
And then he came out later, and I'm like, oh, okay, I thought maybe he had been traded or they're holding, but he didn't play.
Right.
And he actually elected to sit on the bench for the game, but he was traded. So, team, you're not going to play if you have been traded, and you just kind of protected. He was in the building, he was getting ready to play. So it's something to watch for tonight. We'll see.
And also, then there's Harrison Barnes getting told on the bench he got traded.
Yeah,
that was
he was a member of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, that was a little bit goofy. And then as far as that Fox audio, because I know it was tough for some people to hear, we were struggling as well, but it was basically saying it's the youth. He mentioned some of the struggles with defense, and he mentioned Mike Brown saying, you got defense wins championships. You got to be able to play defense, and how obviously Wembanyama is a lot of things, but he is a defensive anchor. And as long as he's healthy, the Spurs are never going to be bottom half.
Yeah.
Of the defensive rankings.
Well, I think where it's going to fit in well for De'Aaron. I think at time, De'Aaron's a good on-ball defender, but sometimes I think De'Aaron's a bit of a because of his speed, he can be a risk taker and a gambler.
Yeah.
I think you could do that more when you've got a goalie back there. Like,
right.
It's like I overplayed. Oh, I didn't get the steal.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm not as burned because I've got someone protecting the paint, where the Kings didn't really have that as much for him.
Nope. But new eras begin in San Antonio. We don't care. Chicago, to a sense.
Yeah.
It's just Herter, but also no more LaVine.
Sure.
Don't care. And we do care about Zach LaVine tonight. I want to remind you, 7 p.m. We'll have all your pregame. Really, it's a 8-hour pregame show.
Yeah.
We'll be running that through Alan, then on to Kyle and Whitey, and then, of course, Scott Marsh and High Flyer, all the way into the game itself with you and Gary Gerald. We'll have all that coverage, not just there, but also tomorrow morning on the program, where we'll have highlights and really take a deep dive into Zach LaVine's debut. I'm sure it's going to be a raucous atmosphere tonight, Golden One Center.
Yeah, so I think for Kings fans, you obviously intrigued at everything they're doing, but this is one of those times to keep alert on social media of trades. Like we had the one today with Milwaukee and Washington, Kuzma going to Milwaukee, Middleton going to Washington, but that's the start of this. There's going to be a lot more stuff in the next 24 hours.
If you're joining us and waiting for Monty McNair's press conference, we will be carrying it live. Kyle is behind the glass right now monitoring the podium. As soon as he steps to the podium, he will signal us, and we will throw that not just audio up, but also on the video as well.
I think this is an easy bet, but vest or no vest?
Oh, gotta be vest.
Would be a stunner without a vest.
Yeah, we need his vest effort. Today, things are serious.
We're invested in this.
We are 100% invested in this. I don't know what vestibule means, but I know it's a word. I should probably look it up.
Well, they made an investment in Zach LaVine.
Yeah. And at this point, it's like the Michael J. Fox movie, The Secret of My Sixth Vest. Nope. No, is that where we stopped? This is called vamping.
Yes.
Because we don't want to get down a rabbit hole all of a sudden, as we just did, and then have
that wasn't your vest effort.
Oh, son of a... Also, you'll be able to replay this as well on our YouTube. If you can, hey, why not like and subscribe and turn the noties on and all the things the kids say. And again, he will have a second press conference later today as well. It'll be very interesting, though, because these are his first public comments since the firing of Mike Brown. That's how far back. As a matter of fact, was his last public comments with us at training camp?
With us? I believe so.
No, I'm saying, when has he talked since?
He had that Mark Jones interview.
That's right.
That's
Thank you.
That would
That's
be the
right.
one, Kyle. Yeah.
That's right.
That was buried at like 4 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. That was it.
That was good.
Hey, because we don't know about time, you want to quick... And Kyle, interrupt if he's coming, but celebrity birthdays?
Yeah, please.
Do that? All right, brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. We'll get that out there. All right, today, happy birthday to Bobby Brown.
My
prerogative, every little step, new edition.
Yeah, Bobby's 63.
I'll go 64.
56.
Told you.
Yeah, Dave's closer.
Uh-huh.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, gosh. Cristiano, I should know this. He was 18 when he came over to Manchester United from Sporting Lisbon. That year, that was Alex Ferguson. That was early 2000s. I want to say 38? 39. 39.
Ha, that's silly. He's obviously 38.
Dave is closer. He's 40 today. He was 39 yesterday.
Wow, he's just a little
how about another soccer legend, Neymar?
Monty McNair coming up momentarily. We are monitoring that if you're just tuning in. Neymar. I don't know. Neymar is 35.
I'll go 34.
Kyle's closer, 33. Happy birthday to Roberto Alomar.
Senior or junior? Not Sandy. Roberto Alomar, spitting image for Alomar. He is he's 54.
He is 50 today.
Dave's closer. He's 57. Happy birthday to Saturday Night Live Zone. He was probably the longest tenured Tokeenan who blows everyone away. Tim Meadows.
Oh, wow. Tim is 62.
Oh, he's 61 today. Come on.
No. He's 64, Dave is closer. And we'll finish with Dallas Cowboys quarterback Roger Staubach.
Roger Staubach. I know Fran Tarkenton turned 85, I think, yesterday. Staubach is 82.
He's only 75.
Okay, I know I wrote this incorrectly. So I wrote 53. He's got to be 83. It's probably 80.
It's got to be 83.
Yeah. I don't know why I wrote 53.
I don't know why you did either.
So, yeah, we'll go happy 83rd birthday.
I specifically said to them earlier, are you guys tracking to be on at 9:30?
I was in there with Kyle. They were testing mics.
Yes.
I heard them.
What is he doing?
The Kings started their live stream. It's just an empty chair.
Is he peeing?
He's putting on the press conference vest.
The press?
Yes. It killed me this summer in Vegas. Like, he was wearing the vest. I'm like,
yeah, what are you doing,
Monty? He's like, well, it's cold in the casinos or in the hotel. I'm like, yeah, but it's 118 outside.
And again, why are they not selling the Monty vest?
Yeah.
Do we want to run a couple breaks and cut in if he...
No, because as soon as we go to break, he's coming on.
That's true. But
unless you want to go to break right now, and then can we cut into a spot?
Yeah, we have to be out by 53.
All right, so I'd rather do that now than cut into the presser. So everybody stay there. We're literally watching the screen. We're going to get some commercials in this second, and then we will come to it as soon as it's live, if not before. So we'll take a break. We're right back with Monty McNair next.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
As suspected, we go to break. Monty goes to the podium. Here's GM Monty McNair. Right about now. As we get the video going. In 3, 2, 1. Monty McNair.
And, in addition to public and private conversations that happened before that decision on the coaching change. So, I think I'll speak more on that. But, for us, it became clear that there was no pathway there for a long-term agreement. And so that's also why we're here today.
Monty, I would just like to, say this. I asked this question, because yes, it's been way out since December 28th, since we spoke. Since the firing of Mike Brown, and many of us who was in that gym, spoke to him. And then the next thing you know, he's going to the airport. He gets a message that he's been he's separated, from this organization. As far as full respect, due respect, why did it take so long for you to come out and just say, hey, this is what we did and this is why we did it and we're moving on? Why did it take that long?
Yeah, I think as I just answered there, we were focused on the team at that point and turning the season around. And, that was at that time, that was what we were focused on.
It wasn't in the best interest of the media, to get some type of feedback.
Yeah, understand, from where you're coming from. Yeah.
Monty, how was Fox consulted at all or talked to, or any of the players talked to at all about the decision to move on from Mike? And do you feel that had a impact on ultimately an agreement not being able to be made or a separation happening between the organization and De'Aaron?
No, De'Aaron had nothing to do with the decision on the coaching change. No player did. That was the decision that I made, that the organization, as we discussed, obviously came to, but no players, no.
Mike was the first winning coach here in quite a long time. And you guys understood have a five-game losing streak at the time of the firing. Can you just explain the timing of it, particularly after he was given an extension, and why it seemed like he had such a short leash?
Yeah, obviously we had, I think, high expectations coming into the season, for a variety of reasons. We did start off with some success, but heading into December started hitting a skid. And then I think ultimately, as we're trying to figure out ways to turn the season around, a lot of different things were discussed, but ultimately the 5-game losing streak at home and the Detroit loss, the next day, as we talk through it, that was, we felt we had a season that could be better. And, that was the choice we made at that time. That was the thing that, that we could push to. And, so far I think we've had some success there, but, those were the main factors that were going in at the time. And, the higher expectations things are, the more we expect of ourselves.
Hi, Monty. On the De'Aaron front, you guys obviously make a choice to do it now versus the summer. I just wonder, from the group standpoint, when did that start to become more real, and what was your calculus on, that idea that do we ride this out and see how the rest of the year goes? Market wise, what kind of intel and information and insight can you share about, doing it now versus doing it later?
Yeah. I mean, really, I think anytime, a player of that caliber, you get closer to the end of the contract. We've offered extensions, as we talked about. Anytime there's a transaction window, we revisit, how do we handle this? And I think at this point, with a year and a half left, we decided, with the public and private indications we were getting, that this was the time to at least explore the market. At the same time, I think we got a return we're excited about, and so that's why we pulled the trigger.
Monty, during media day, I specifically asked you about roster balance, specifically with length. You pointed to McDaniels and Len as two players that provided length. McDaniels, of course, did make it at training camp. Len has had multiple DNPs, isn't getting significant minutes, as you would say. Do you still have a plan to address the length issues that you guys have within this roster imbalance?
Yeah, certainly. Something we're looking to do. Well, we obviously, with the trade deadlines coming up, that's one option, and we'll continue to look at it going forward.
Hey, Monty, you've seen obviously storylines and just narratives that are out there. Is there any kind of things that are out there that you wish people didn't know, or maybe might be a misconception or anything about maybe what has happened over these past few weeks and months?
I would say nothing more that I haven't addressed so far.
Okay. And then just another one. I mean, just how unfathomable, I guess, in your mind is it that, someone who mentioned the extension for Mike and then obviously wanting the extension for De'Aaron, and then, you're about 6-7 months from some of those conversations and then both of those guys are gone. I mean, is that completely something that's uncharted territory for you in terms of what you had felt going forward at those times?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, coming off the last 2 seasons and the decision to extend Mike, we did not envision that this is how the season would go, but all we can do is, continue to deal with the information we're getting and make the best decision in each moment. Obviously in hindsight, we maybe would have done some things differently, but we don't have the benefit of hindsight at the time.
Hey, Monty, after moving on for Mike, what was the decision process like for figuring out who was going to be interim and what eventually made you settle on Doug?
Yeah, I think with obviously we have a lot of qualified coaches on our staff, but Doug in particular, his not just being a former player, but a former Sacramento King, and his connection to us as an organization, I think a lot of what we've seen from Doug so far is what we hope for, and just his ability to to lead these guys and give a different perspective. So he had that unique combination. I think that was ultimately the deciding factor.
Monty, you guys have been playing some good basketball before the road trip, and then this De'Aaron Fox stuff happens. Then, were there more conversations with Rich Paul in the lead up to the road trip that made you feel like, okay, we have to like pounce now and make this deal? Like, why was the timing now?
Yeah, I don't want to get into maybe those private conversations. I will say that conversations have been had, throughout and even more so before, dating back to the summer and the early part of the season. Obviously, the deadline is just the time that these things end up happening. And so, as I said with Sam's question, it's just each transaction window we kind of have to decide, like, what are we trying to do? For the first time, we did decide to explore the market there.
I guess along those lines, De'Aaron has said multiple times that he wanted to retire here. He goes into the season not signing the extension, and then there's reports that you and Wes met with Rich Paul, and then the report a few weeks ago that you guys were open to trading him. Just from your point of view, where do you feel like things kind of went wrong or just ended the way they did?
I think obviously, the season hasn't gone as we all hoped. That's part of it. At the same time, I think, we did explore ways to have De'Aaron stay here, and it was made clear that wasn't going to happen. So we moved on.
Monty, in regards to Mike, was it simply just wanting a new voice, or were there specific things you can share that he wasn't doing that maybe you guys were looking for him to do? Like, what's maybe a little more insight into like the reason that you guys weren't happy with him anymore?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it was just the results, of the season, and specifically the way that we played in that homestand. We felt we needed to do something. That was one of the options that we had been discussing in the days leading up, and like I said, the way ultimately that the last couple of games of that homestand went solidified that.
Monty, can you say definitively whose call it was to fire Mike?
Yeah, mine.
Monty, can you, within reason of what you can share with negotiations, how difficult was it with San Antonio specifically trying to work out the deal, knowing that was Fox's ideal location of where he wanted to end up, trying to get as much return as you possibly could for a player who's obviously been the face of the franchise for so long?
Yeah, I would say, certainly anytime a player of that caliber, is in the market, and also the way that it was very public. It made for a unique market, but I also think, our group did a great job of cultivating a market to ultimately get what we wanted in return. We were not going to settle for less than we wanted. And so when we got that, we made the deal.
Monty, 2 years ago, you won Executive of the Year. Do you think from that moment to where we are today that you've done everything in your power to provide the support for whether it be Mike Brown or De'Aaron Fox on the court with players to make this thing work? And going forward, Zach LaVine is going to face the same issue that De'Aaron did of the length and athleticism at the wings. Is there a way to address some of those issues now?
Yeah, I would say two things, James. One is, from where we started to where we are, I think we've had a lot of success. We're in our third straight winning season, after whatever it was, 15, 16 without. At the same time, we haven't won enough for our expectations as they've gone up following, our playoff year. And ultimately that all falls on me. And so, I'm tasked with getting us to the playoffs, and that's what I keep trying to do. Up to you guys, how good that's been.
Kind of along those lines, I guess, this might take me a minute to get through. Just wondering how you view this going forward. You talked about not seeing a pathway long-term with Fox, and here you are getting ultimately what I would imagine in your mind was the best deal that you could possibly get for him. Does this feel like a step back from the vision that you had? Does this feel all that removed from maybe the pathway that you wanted, and just kind of how that relates to competition going forward in terms of maybe what you feel this team is capable of?
Yeah, certainly not linear. How we've, gotten there never is. I think following the 23 season, we had hopes that the core could, continue to ascend. Obviously at this point we've gone in a different direction. At the same time, Zach is an incredible player. I think we have a lot of talent on this team. The West is tough, but we're competing with some of the best teams in that conference. On the flip side, this is one of the first times, in my career that I've had plus first round picks, and we got some very high value picks in return, in addition to a really good player. And so that's just going to give us more opportunities down the road to continue to improve this team, get where we want to go. Thank you.
All right, that's Monty McNair as we adjust our levels. Apologies for the tech issues in the beginning. The media did, I thought, quite well and there's some people saying, why are we talking about Mike Brown? That was months ago. This is the first opportunity anybody's had to talk to him.
Yeah, I expected that. That was the heavy first third of that, maybe even a little more of it.
Yeah, it was. And
less about Zach LaVine, honestly.
Yeah, because I think the idea there is the Zach LaVine stuff for the most part is going to happen at noon.
Yeah.
We'll have that coverage for you as well.
I figured more Fox even, and there was in there. I can't fault that.
Yeah, not a comfortable press conference for Monty. I don't think it should have been a comfortable press conference for Monty.
Totally
and I
agree.
think a lot of this could have been avoided had they had that presser.
This would have been a different press conference.
It creates a vacuum, and now you have all these things saved up. And let me just tell you, from Monty, look, I'll say two things. One, that wasn't a good press conference for Monty McNair. There's a lot of questions, and there's a lot of thoughts hanging over. On the other hand, he's a sacrificial lamb going up there. There's no win there.
Right.
And
he did it.
And he did it. If you think that he could be open about everything, you're tripping.
Right.
And he's got, whether it's strategic, whether it's protecting those with him or above, whatever it may be, that's the sacrificial lamb going up there facing the music finally. And then it was never going to be, provided the media asked the questions, and they did, God bless them, it was never going to be a good press conference.
Yeah,
for him.
you know how we always say, we like to, it's not a joke, but like the scenario, the Kings play a game, everybody puts a microphone, how did it feel? They had that bad turnover. We say, what if we did that after a show? Like, hey, Dave, how'd you feel about the show?
Yeah.
I think if we were interviewing Monty right now, I think he thought the press conference was going to go differently. I knew he expected Brown conversation, but I think there was some, they were attacking a little bit, and I think he kind of dug in at something like, that was my decision, and some shorter answers than I expected. But, I think you said it perfectly. Had they had a presser earlier, I don't think any of those, and then it would have been about the decision on Fox and what do you got in LaVine? What else are you going to address? And some of that was in there, but a lot of it was really centered around the Mike Brown departure.
And ultimately, time tells. We'll have Monty on either Friday or Monday, most likely. We'll follow up on some of those questions. And we'll also have, obviously, hey, how did Zach look? We'll be able to
have more knowledge then.
Monty back with Zach. What I'm very interested in is does some of this carry over? I doubt it will. But does some of this at all carry over to the Zach LaVine press conference? I don't imagine it will.
Think so. But who knows?
But we'll see. So hopefully Monty's got a nice supply of Tums.
Yeah.
Maybe
He's
throw
done
back
with
some-
that one.
Throw back some Pepto.
Yeah.
And we will have that. We will break down that press conference, and we'll have much more on it tomorrow, along with a recap of everything that happened in tonight's Zach LaVine debut. Thanks to everybody who joined us. Alan Stiles will take the torch, and he will build on this, including carrying Monty's next press conference with Zach LaVine live at noon. For Katie Christensen, for Coach Jim Less, for Kyle Ledbetter, for Jason Ross, I'm Carmichael Dave. We'll see you tomorrow. Light the beam, Zach LaVine. Bye-bye now. Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends over at Jiffy Lube, and they want to show some customer love this month with their February oil change deals you can find online today. Visit jiffylube.com and find a service center near you to see these sweetheart deals, get it, during the month of February. Here's what you do. Drive into savings